Hello, all my students and friends and fellow gamblers. Welcome to the Teaserking. We're going to do Super Bowl today, Bitcoin, or Russia, inflation, whatever comes into the mind. We'll start with, of course, the Super Bowl, as this is football, but generally all these other topics start coming up, and I want them to know they're welcome for any questions or comments. What we want to buy and don't buy and everything else. So let's go on to the Super Bowl. I see the Rams are down 4 and 48.5. So it went up to 4.5. It's now 4. If we go into if you just look at the analysis, we've got Cincinnati, a B team, but fastly becoming an A team, and LA, a B team, and probably right so. Over under 48.5. Both teams' defenses are 22s. Give up 22 a game. In total, the Rams are like a +6 because they scored 28 to 20 and give up 22, and Cincinnati scores 27, gives up 22. And, so very, very minor, very, very tight game. That's why I like the underdog. Plus, I like Joe Burrow is better than Stafford, I think, by a long shot. Chase, Ramsey's going to card Chase. Well, yeah, but doesn't KC have cornerbacks? Doesn't Tennessee have cornerbacks? And nobody could guard them. Baltimore, I know, has cornerbacks. Andrew Bungo's +10. Yeah, that's what I got. I got the Tiger Cats plus the 10, and I got 10.5, and I went over 42.5. I like the over. The best way to look at the over is quarterbacks. So who do we got? Stafford. He's going to score for both teams because he'll throw some interceptions. And Burrow, who's extremely good at, he'll drive him down the field. Will they end up with field goals or touchdowns like they did in the earlier games, like against Tennessee? And that first game against Oakland was a joke. It was all field goals. Hey, Nick, yes, a couple of nice props. So what are your nice props that you guys are thinking about? You got to be careful. I analyze the game and I analyze the score, and that's what I do. I already bet Burrow over 10.5 rushing yards. Yeah, that's a good bet. I mean, that seems awfully low. Again, the best way to make these bets is don't look at the thing over 10.5. Say, what's Burrow going to rush for? How many yards is whoever going to throw for, or who's going to catch? I never know. That first touchdown is always a joke, and is there going to be a safety and yada yada yada. I think I would bet whoever's trailing at halftime to win the second half, especially if it's a big lead. So if the Rams pull a 21-3 like KC did, or like they did at Tampa, I'd bet the house on Cincinnati winning the second half. But I don't know how that works. Like, is the line? So if it's 21-3 Kansas City over Cincinnati's the line, Cincinnati gets 18 in the second half or something like that. If it is, then just bet to mortgage your house and bet all your stuff. So I think the game's even. I think Burrow's already showed if he's down like he was to Kansas City, like he was to Tennessee, he's going to come back. That's just the way he is. So I'm not worried about Burrow and 10.5. I'm not really worried about the over. Again, you have two good quarterbacks, and in this league with all the pass interferences, you're going to get some good scores. You get some scoring opportunities. So I just see that as really good. Good for the over. I think the game's made more for the over now, unless you just have a dominant team like a Georgia or Tennessee in the pros, maybe Baltimore when they're completely healthy, or Pittsburgh when they're healthy. You have some teams that can beat you defensively and just shut you down, but I think most of it, just if you have a good quarterback and a good receiver, you're going to get pass interference calls. You're going to score. is going to lead the big plays. I just see that that's really where it goes. You're going to get points. You're going to get scoring. And I just see that. And it's 48.5. It's 20. It's 42.5. 42.5 is 24-20. And I can't see this game not getting in the upper 20. 28-24. I think I called 24-20, which is still 44, but I think 28-24 is not asking a lot. That gets you to 52. I did have a hunch on this game. So I like Cincinnati anyway, but I got a hunch like 41-17 Cincinnati. Like they're going to pull like they did against Baltimore, and they're going to come on, and they're going to, I think they might bury them. I think they played close to KC, but when they needed it, they scored. And the same with Tennessee. When they needed it, they scored. I got a feeling with the Rams, they're just going to really explode. And Stafford's going to give them a few pick sixes or something, and all of a sudden the game's going to get out of hand. I just feel that Cincinnati blows them out. I'm betting them anyway, and I'm picking 24-20, but I just have this gut feeling. Don't be surprised if Cincinnati puts a 40 on the board. They're just, hey, we beat Tennessee. Hey, we just beat Kansas City. And let's not forget, the Rams are not the 1 seed here, right? It was Green Bay and Tampa Bay 1-2, not the Rams. So they're not even the top 2 teams in the NFC, and they're there. Speaking of Tampa Bay, it's my belief that Brady's going to go to the 49ers because he grew up at the Joe Montana game, at the catch game. He was there. He always wanted to be a Niner. The season he had, I would just be shocked that he's going to quit on his best season. So I think he's trying to go to San Francisco for his finale, go retire there. And he's probably always wanted to be a 49er, so this will be his chance. So that's with Garoppolo, they got to get rid of him. They know if they have Brady, 49ers can easily win the Super Bowl. They don't have a quarterback with Garoppolo. So since he's down at half, I will be betting them money line live, great odds. Well, yeah, you can money line it. I don't know the odds, but I would definitely take the points in Cincinnati also. I mean, if they're down 14, you get 10, 11 points to Cincinnati in the second half, unless somebody's injured. I mean, they'll definitely make a game out of it. They've done it every game. Cincinnati, I mean, against Kansas City twice, they were down. Is that on your app that you get these first half, second half? Money lines and stuff like that. So, anyway, it should be interesting, but definitely like Cincinnati to win. I think they're the better team, getting points. The fact the game's in L.A., I mean, the Niners had them beat in L.A., and they beat them in L.A. the last week of the year. And so I think Arizona beat them in L.A. I don't think that L.A. is I don't think these really big, huge dome stadiums give you a big house edge. And look at Dallas. They don't do well at home. The teams that do well are like Kansas City and Tampa Bay and Green Bay. These outdoor, it gets cold, it gets hot. You want the elements, but not these dome stadiums. I don't know that they really help. Nick, I also think they need to run Mixon, especially since Rams can't stop run as well. Well, the tight end's playing Unsana, or however you pronounce it. He's playing, so that'll help the short passing game. Again, you don't need to necessarily run. You can do short passes. It's the same thing. I do believe Mixon will be okay. Perrine's, all these Oklahoma running backs. But I think Burrow, I just think at the end of the day, you got to stop like Von Miller, but he's so old. He's not the same guy that sacked Brady 15 times in that championship game. I mean, that was years ago. So he's okay. He's a nice name, but I don't think he's all that strong. And then you got, and of course Aaron Donald, but the Niners ran right through him. So I don't know, but I Cincinnati's got to be themselves, run a little bit, but you want Burrow throwing the ball. That's their bread and butter. You want his hands on the ball. So that's what I see. Just keep letting them throw few running plays. You really run it early in the game to tire out Aaron Donald. That's why you run. That's why they run early in the game. They don't do anything, but by the fourth quarter, they can't stop them because they're exhausted. So yeah, definitely. Well, they'll definitely run the ball, and they definitely have balance. They're not going to key on Mixon when you got to worry about Burrow and Chase and Uzama and Higgins and the rest of those guys. So keep that in mind. I think the Rams double team Cooper Kupp, and let's see who Stafford goes to. He's been going a little bit to Beckham, but Beckham, it's like, okay, he made a one-handed catch 5 years ago, and guess what? 1,000 other players made one-handed catches, so it's not that big of a deal. I don't know why the announcers get all, oh my God, it's a one-handed catch. Yeah, it's there's been 10 in the game. Like, why are you freaking out over a one-handed catch when it's very common? So that's Beckham's claim to fame, is he made a one-handed catch. Okay, that was 5 years ago on the Giants, and it's been duplicated 1,000 times. So he's not that great. He was never that great at LSU. So I don't know. This will be curious, but they'll be scoring, but the Rams always fall asleep. So they get a little bit early, they fall asleep, and then at the end they might come back, but it'll be close at the end. That's why we got with the 10.5. I feel really good, and knowing that both quarterbacks can score at the end. I love the over. I mean, I just can't see a 3-0 halftime game. I see, in the teens in the half and in the upper 20s at the end of the game. That gets you 50. You need 42. I don't see how it doesn't go over with these quarterbacks, and then that leads you to tease the dog because it should be a close game. So that's my thought on the Super Bowl. 24-20, maybe 27-21, 27-23, Cincinnati. I think at the end of the game, if Burrow has the ball, Burrow gets the win. Just like he did against Kansas City. And they beat Mahomes. I mean, please, he beat Mahomes at Kansas City, who had a big lead. Why would we be scared of the Rams? Change the topic or keep talking? It's up to you guys. Again, this is your class. I'm the teacher. A little bit on gold and silver, if I may, and I can change back instantly. Again, the price is being held down. Again, you have this. I don't know that it's a real war, Russia, Ukraine. I would take Russia in that war and lay the points if it came on. Bought my first gold eagle today. Well, that's very good. What did you buy? An ounce? A quarter ounce? How big? What's the size? And I hope you didn't pay tax. I'd rather see you buy those than like the Brady helmet, because the Brady helmet's nice and it might go up a little. But it depends why you're buying it. If you're just buying it for Brady, it's okay. But if I'm spending $2,500 right now, I'm buying $2,500 worth of gold and silver. You can buy an ounce, or if you want, you can buy 2 half ounces. But I'll tell you, Nick, it gets pretty addicting. So once you buy one, you're going to buy 2. A 1 ounce no tab, very good. So you're going to want to buy more. Now keep in mind, the price will drop because it's being price fixed. So it hits about this 1850 level, maybe 1860, I think. What did it do? What did it end today at? Let's see. So if I see, come on. Gold up $35 to 1862. So that's probably as high as it'll get at this point, because until, I guess the best way to really really nail it is do a Google, how many ounces of gold is there? And then do a search on how much gold does Russia, China, India have? I don't know if the U.S. has any. And then you can say, well, there's 100 million ounces or tons, and there's 98 million that's Federal Reserves of China, Russia have. There's not much left, so they can't keep the price down because there's nothing left to buy. So eventually, that's what's going to happen. There won't be much to buy, but that's where you go with it. But don't worry if the price drops. Eventually, it's just going to take off because, and there's not going to be any interest rate hikes. I keep watching some idiot, they're going to raise interest rates 2 times, 7 times, 20 times, a whole point. They're not raising interest rates. They cannot raise interest rates because of the debt. When you have trillions and trillions of dollars in debt, so let's just say we owe on our house, we owe a mortgage, and it's $1,000 a month, but that's at a rate of 2%. Now the rate goes to 3%. What happens? Well, now we owe $1,400 a month. If it's variable, if you're smart, you buy a fixed rate. So that's what's going to happen to the debt. But only you got trillions and trillions of dollars in debt. That if you raise the rate 1 point, you've killed the economy. So they can't kill the economy. That's why they won't raise rates. That'll make the dollar go. Buy more once price. Yeah. When you see, Nick, so what you do is, so what I do, and I'm helping you, is so when you see it down about 1775 is when I usually buy, because the dealers are stupid. It's like they don't get what's going on. So instead of saying, I'm going to sell it at 2,100 no matter what, and good luck finding it, which you can't, but what they do is, like, you probably pay close to 2,000 today, but when the price drops to 1775, you only pay 1950. For you, don't worry about it. You don't care. You want ounces, is what you're trying to buy 50 ounces or whatever. I'm trying to buy 100 ounces. I don't own enough. I should have bought more younger, but I was buying baseball cards, and I'm doing okay with those. But that's what you should have. That's what you want to do. So when you retire now, you don't want money. You want gold. So, I used to want, I'll retire when I get $1 million. Now it's $1 million is going to be worthless. I'll retire when I get 100 ounces of gold. That's really the key. So I'm trying to buy that. But you'll find it addicting, Nick. You're gonna get, so now you got 20 silver and 1 ounce gold. Next thing you know, you're gonna say, I'd really like to get to 5 ounces of gold, and I'd like to get another 20 of silver. The price is still low. I want to get it in. Well, that's a good price because the gold was up. Did you buy it? Well, my computer's froze up. Wait, here it comes, I think. I deeply apologize. My screen went black and I lost the computer feed, so I apologize. Connection issues. Bought American Eagle. He didn't have a Cougar on. But what was the price of his Cougar on? Probably, if it's 1940 for the Eagle, it's probably like 1890. And so be careful with that. And that's why he doesn't have any Cougar-ons, is because it's cheaper. You are buying the ounce. You're not caring if it's an American, Canadian, South African, Australia. You don't care who made it. You're buying the ounce. You don't care if it's like more, if it weighs more than an ounce. As long as it says 1 ounce gold on it, that's what you want to buy. So always keep that in mind. So I buy Cougar-ons as much as I can because it's cheaper to buy an ounce of gold. I don't care. The Eagle, on eBay sells a little bit more than the Cougar-ons, but I don't care. At the point when we're ready to sell it, we're looking at the point we're going to sell it. We're looking at 20,000 an ounce. So we don't care if it's a little bit less. but that's where we're at. So again, keep buying your silver. If you can keep getting silver at 27 an ounce, Nick, just now there's also silver bars that I think are even cheaper. I think it's a 10-ounce bar. It's usually like 24 or 25 per ounce. And I'd recommend those also as much as the silver coin. I would buy the bar, because it doesn't matter. You're not buying that. This isn't like buying a Brady card. You're buying gold and silver. So whatever it is, oh, I got 5 ounces of gold. I don't care what, if it's Eagles, Cougarans, or what. I got 5 ounces of gold. So that's going to be your next thing, Nick. Is you're going to want more. And once you get 5, you're going to want 10. Once you get 10, it's like losing weight. I lost 10 pounds. I want to lose 10 more. So enjoy the ride. And, you got a few months before the shit hits the fan, but you can see the shit's hitting the fan. Talking to my girlfriend in the Ukraine, she doesn't even know there's a war going on or that the Russians are there. She says it's just U.S. propaganda. Nobody's worried. Nobody cares. They're all like, it doesn't matter. It's not a war. I mean, prices and because when there's war, usually gold goes through the roof, because that puts uncertainty. Excuse me, I don't know. I've got this itch. That puts uncertainty out there. Plus, a war is expensive, so you're going to inflate. Although at this point they've inflated so much. Nick, have a couple prop parlays in. Hopefully, I can hit one of them so I can get some more silver. Most of them are 10 to win 300-400. Yeah, that'd be nice. That's what I did when I hit my 10 teamer. It was like paid $500 for $10, but I hit every game on the card, and I must have had 50 bets that when I hit the 10 out of 10 and 11 out of 11, and it was good for like $10,000, and I bought some gold and silver with it. That was the way to go. But that's what you want to do. So get more of this, and then, I don't know if you bought your LSU helmet, whatever's the more limited, but I would concentrate on the gold and silver with the 2,500 over a Brady helmet, because I don't know where the Brady helmet's going. You're better off spending 2,500 and getting his rookie card if you can. I don't even think they're 2,500. I think you have to go more, but you're better off doing that than getting the helmet. But if you want a helmet, I wouldn't spend 2,500 if it's just for your living room or it's a decorative piece, but not for a collectible. I don't know. I mean, I don't think it's going to go. Maybe if it's autographed, you'll get something for it. But yeah, get your gold and silver first, because that's going to move more so than the Brady helmet. But the Brady helmet will move. It's anything Brady's gold. Now I was looking at some cards like the Rodgers and the Mahomes cards. And it just goes to show you, they won one Super Bowl and now they're dropping. They don't have that huge value. Oh yeah, Brady's helmet is autographed. Forgot to me. Yeah, okay, I thought so. Oh, that's good. But I guess I'd still have 2,500 in gold. So here you got 1940. Get a quarter, and then the rest in silver is going to benefit you more under these circumstances with all this inflation than the Brady helmet. Now, the Brady helmet is an asset, so it will hold value. So in other words, when inflation hits, the shit hits the roof, and the gold's going to save you if the Brady helmet can be used as an asset, and people will pay for it. So you have that. Yes, plan on just getting a lot more silver now and not as much gold. Well, gold, the difference is you want some gold because gold moves in the thousands, right? Gold moves up $100, right? So it'll go 5,000, let's say. Buy it for 1940, it's going to be worth 5,000. Silver is going to go from 25 to maybe 200, 300. Maybe it gets to 500. But you can see the difference. However, yes, you can buy 20 silvers for $540 now and 20 ounces. So maybe if you look at the whole thing, it goes up to 300. So now you got 20 of them. So that's 6,000. Or the ounce of gold, which is going from 2,000 to 5,000. So the 1 ounce went up 3,000. So yeah, you can get, I think, a bigger bang for your buck, because you can buy more silver, because the ratio is so skewed. People who say it, just the ratio is not normally like, it's 1850 to 22. It's not even close. It's not supposed to be like that. This is 1850. This is supposed to be, I don't know, 500-600, not 22. That's why you buy silver. It doesn't make sense. It's that low. That's really being kept down. But the funny part is the central banks don't buy the silver unless they are. I'll have to do research on that and see if they are. But you see what the central banks, or in our case, the Russian and Chinese mafia are doing. They're buying gold, and they buy tons and tons of it. Well, obviously, it's a good thing to buy. It's a good thing to own. If they're buying it, it's probably a good thing. And I think they're forcing the American banks to keep keeping the price down. So there's a gun to the head of J.P. Morgan saying, keep the price down. But then they get the kick, like J.P. Morgan has had record earnings. You're like, how do they have record earnings? They're losing their ass in gold, and they don't have any, it's banks don't make earnings. They don't have money. They rent it out to for mortgages is about it, but really they don't have money. You go in there, you give them $10,000, and the next day your 10 grand's gone. And you go back and get it, you can get 10 grand. But if you put in, let's say you got 100 grand in the bank, you can't get 100 grand out in one day. You got to go get 20 and 20 and 20 and 20 and 20. You cannot get the full 100 out. So be careful, please. Otherwise, you just walk around with a little bit of gold coins, and you got 50 gold coins you can throw in your pocket. Record earnings from shady kickbacks. Well, yeah, the Russians. This is why they short the gold, is this for this reason. Here's the kickbacks. That's why they had record earnings, because it's not real. It's off the books. And that's why they do it. That's where they get their earnings. So they go, oh, well, we'll short gold. We don't care. Whatever we lose, we'll get reimbursed. And they're buying, believe me, JP Morgan probably has a whole shitload of gold in their safe in the basement, in their safety deposit box. They probably have a shitload of gold, which goes unnoticed. That's what I'm saying. It's got to be close to becoming done that you just can't buy any more gold. And that's the other thing I'm kind of warning everybody is you better buy it soon before you can't. It's not like tuna fish that you can go to the store and there's going to be tuna on the shelf. It's not going to be gold. It's not always going to be there. Now you can buy the gold bars with a little slim 1 ounce gold bar type of thing. That'll be there for a while, but there's going to be a point when the shit hits the fan and the price goes to 5,000 and you're going to that coin store, he ain't going to have nothing. My guy in Ann Arbor didn't have anything when I went earlier. I went, I don't know, probably April, May, I started going and really buying. And at that point, he said, I don't have any. And people would bring some in. And then I remember he did an order for me from the mint. He ordered me like 10 ounces. And I could pay right then and there for what it was. So if it was 1,800 and went to 1,900, I got it at 1,800. So it was beautiful. And but he didn't take credit cards, but it's okay. I gave him cash. It was like a deposit, and then I paid him the rest when it came in. But he doesn't have a lot. He just says everybody comes in. So the demand is huge for gold. It's just right now in the hands where they're trying to keep the price down to buy more. So imagine going to your grocery store and somebody's keeping the price of I don't know, steak down to, where it's $15, $17 a pound for sirloin, New York strips, but you can get it for $7 and you're buying a ton. So they're keeping the price low for you. That's what's happening, but it doesn't mean that, gold is not $1,800. It's probably about 4,000 to 5,000. We're trying to get it to the $30,000 Brady card. I think we'll get there, but that's what we're looking at. I might try another store nearby soon to see if they have Cougaran. If they do, I'll get one more. Well, call them up and just get the numbers and say, do you have gold in, which is going to be tricky enough to get, and then always make sure it has gold 1 ounce or gold half ounce. It says gold on it. Make sure it says that. Look at it and take the magnet to it. And as long as it doesn't stick to the magnet, it's real. Most of it's real at these coin stores. But you could get some bullshit like jewelry. You could get jewelry that's not gold. That's why when you get jewelry, you put the magnet to it. This does not stick, but cheap gold would stick to a magnet because it's not really gold. So you just keep that in mind. But usually if you go to a good coin store and he sells silver and gold, he's going to be honest with it, because he's going to want you to come back, and he's going to want you to sell it back to him. Most places by me, you found your guy, which you did. So that's your key question. He'll have Cougarans. That's the most gold is Cougaran. South Africa has the biggest mines, so they make the most gold. So there's plenty of Cougaran. There's more Cougarans than Eagles. Let's put it that way. But just ignore the sales tax. And you found your place, so just go back to him and call him up, say, "Let me know when you got Cougar." Well, he probably won't call you back. Just check in every once a week. Did you get Cougarans in? Because you could get them in any day. Somebody might come in and sell them. We'll see what happens. But it's just amazing the mental aspect, how they want you to think gold is really not good to invest in. It's 1,800. It doesn't move. Go buy Bitcoin. Because they know gold is the king. But they don't want you to protect yourself because they're the government. They want to protect you. So run as fast as you can. But anyway, that's where you need to be with the gold. And keep in mind, it's being price fixed. All the idiots on TV who say, "Well, I don't know, I'm looking at this chart. It'll bust out any minute. It's time to move." It ain't moving until the mafia says move it, until they need the money. China's getting close with all their housing problems. Russia, if they go to war, are going to need money because military is expensive. You got to feed the soldiers. You got to get the weapons. You got to get the gun, the bullets. The tanks need bullets. The airplanes need, especially now with the oil price going up, they got to fly airplanes in the military. That's going to cost them more. So that's what happens. So they're going to need money. What do? They sell their gold. They want the gold price to rise. So all these things, the housing price, the price issues in China, this possible war with the Ukraine, although I'm not counting on it, they need the price of gold and silver to go up. 10-ounce silver or multiple 1 ounce. That's your choice. Either way, you're buying 10 ounces. Whatever the best price is, if the 10-ounce silver bar is $25 an ounce and the 1 ounce Eagles are $27 an ounce, then buy the 10-ounce silver bar. The key is, as long as it says silver on it, and then the key is you own 10 ounces of silver. I mean, you want to own it. That's the key to it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a coin. As long as you can identify that silver bar is silver. As long as it says silver on it. I don't know if it says, my silver, I think says 1 ounce of silver on it. Just as the gold says 1 ounce of gold. So I think it says it on there. Or it might say 0.9999 silver or something like that. But so make sure the bar says it's an ounce of silver, 10 ounces of silver. Also notice some new black spots on my 10-ounce bar concerning, you just bought this bar? Does it say 10 ounces of silver? Or is this what you initially bought? You initially bought the 10-ounce bar, black spots. Well, does it say silver on it? I mean, if it's silver, now here's the difference. Gold, I've had this since 1995. It still looks brand new because it is. It's indestructible. I can't chip it. I can't break it. I can break the clasp. I'll just get it fixed. But this is real gold, and it doesn't tarnish. I don't know if silver doesn't have the same property. Silver does wear out. So if it says initially bought, yes, has all silver. Well, then I think it's silver. I don't know what these black spots are. Is it in a container or is it just sitting out? I normally seal mine. So when I get the gold coin, I put it like I do my casino chips or my baseball cards. I put them in a coin holder that's a snap tight. So you sit the coin in, you put the snap tight over it, and you snap it. Keeps the air out of it. So like my Highland Mint coins, the Barry Sanders Highland Mint, it's snap tight. Now some of them, they are getting a little bubbles or a little off, or some of the paint. And I have a Red Wing one that's red, but it's tarnishing. But it's 1 ounce of silver, so it's still an ounce of silver, but it's not like gold. Gold does not tarnish ever. It's impossible. That's what's the beauty of gold. You can't break it. You can't get rid of it. It's indestructible. That's why gold's gold, and it's the gold standard. Silver does wear out, and that's why I love silver. The price is so low, but think about it. You put it in these new car batteries, electric batteries. It's in your cell phone and your computers. There's no substitute. You can't use copper. You can't use nickel. So you have to use silver. And guess what? It wears out, which means you need more silver. And that's the thing, is they've run out. The mines do not produce it because it's too cheap. So usually what happens when these gold miners come and they're mining for gold, they accidentally get silver out of it too. So that's where a lot of the silver comes, is when they're mining for gold or copper or zinc or any of these different alloys that go into cars or go into cell phones or computers. They're also accidentally pulling silver out. So that's what you want to do. It's in a cellophane wrapper. Can you put it into a hard plastic? Because I know what you're talking about. It's like that. It's like a rectangle. The silver's in, and then there's plastic over it. If you can get a squeeze tight and put it in, I would recommend it. I don't know why it's black. It's just the black dots are probably air, but I think you're okay. I mean, it's still 10 ounces. As long as it says 10 ounces of silver, it's 10 ounces of silver. So I don't think that's. Sure, you can get maybe buy a case. Go to the coin store, and they usually have the cases for it because that's what they sell. Try there first before you go online. And since you bought it from him, I would suggest when the next time you buy, ask him for the tights, the snap tights, and he'll give them to you usually. So the gold guy, I give him 10 grand, I get 5-6 ounces of gold. And I said, well, can I get the little snap tights? So they're $5. You think he's charging me $5? He's like, no, you just bought $10,000 worth of gold from me. Here, I give them to you. So that's usually what happens. So that's usually the best time to ask for him. Nick, yeah, I'll try that store. He will probably give me a deal. I already gave him a few grand. Well, there you go. It's business. He sees the customer. He wants you to come back. He doesn't want you to go anywhere else. You're already getting those sales tax. I would go in and say, remember me, which he probably does, talk Super Bowl with them, and then say, what, those little snaps. By the way, can you let me know when the Cougar hands are in, or when do you think you're getting them? Because he does order them. And then you can kill all, five birds with one stone. And he'll keep you in mind for that. But again, they can't raise it. If they raise interest rates, there'll be a housing market will collapse. Stock market is already tumbling, $400 or $500. It's down, but it's really going to go once people who buy on margin get screwed, which they will. Once they get screwed and they have to settle, that's when they're going to sell stocks and they're going to sell their gold and silver or whatever to pay the margin calls. That's when the market tanks, and that's not too far off. People will start getting nervous. Now, the key to this gold going up is when people start getting nervous with their money, going, oh my God, I better spend it now before it's Nazi Germany and I'm wallpapering my house with $100 marks because they won't buy a loaf of bread. You've seen the pictures. The guy comes with a wheelbarrow full of money to buy bread and milk. And that's why we buy the gold, because when it hits that point, gold's worth a fortune. And then we buy the new currency. Then what they do is they come out with new currency. Now, if it's still the same bullshit, we still got to be careful with it. We buy a little bit of gold, but we still want to keep the gold because that currency is going to get screwed. If they get currency backed by gold, that's when we're millionaires, because then they're going to have to buy the gold back. The price goes up, and then it's worth 40. Knows what it'll be valued at, because it won't be US dollars, because it'll be gone. So whatever the currency is, you'll be able to, you might be able to buy a house with 1 ounce. That's what happens. I was watching something on the Great Depression, and some guy's selling his car for $100. And I think an ounce of gold would have bought you a nice car. That's probably what was worth $1,000. And the guy said, I lost all my money in the stock market. Give me $100. So what I want everybody to do is get out of the stock market and buy your gold. And when the stock market crashes, which it will, we're going to be sitting there going, it's okay. I got 50 ounces, 100 ounces of gold, and gold's gone through the roof. Gold has to go up. Gold is not going down. It's impossible. Grandfather grew up in Germany during those times. Him and his brother would steal milk. Well, I mean, that's how the Nazis got into power, because Hitler was going to guarantee you a job and take care of you, and then he killed everybody. But that's why he came to power, and it was all the U.S.'s fault, because we inflated the money, which inflated the whole world, and it ruined the Depression, ruined the whole world. So yeah, you know what I'm talking about, Nick, and this is why you look at history. This is why I look at history for football games. Cincinnati went into Kansas City and won. I'm looking at that as, well, shit, if they can do that, they can beat the Rams. The Rams barely beat the Niners at home, barely beat Tampa. If the Stafford fumbles recovered by David instead of Stafford, who accidentally recovered it at the 30, guess what? It's Tampa and in this Super Bowl. It's not the Rams. So they barely beat Tampa and they barely beat the Niners. They got lucky. So that's what you look at. You look at history and you learn, but you need, what I'm good at is understanding what I need to learn, what's important and what isn't, and who's a choker and who's a winner. Burrow's a winner. So that's what I know and understand. And it's from Joe Montana. And this guy reminds me a lot of Joe Montana. But that's what you're looking at. So the reason you own gold is because the currency is going to go to the wallpaper. Okay. That is going to happen, but nobody can say it's going to happen March 31st. And you can't say it's going to happen July 4th, but it will happen, because you cannot print and print and print and print and not have consequences. So basically you have that. But then your Brady cards go up, because you need more money to buy the good. That's why you need a wheelbarrow to buy, as Nick's saying, the bread and the milk. You needed a wheelbarrow for it. So what do you have? So you're going to need a wheelbarrow to buy the Brady card and the gold and the silver. But then eventually that money is worthless, so you don't even want it. So you stop valuing gold in US dollars. You won't value it in euros. You're going to value it in whatever this new currency is, or you're going to value it in, hey, I can buy a house with 2 ounces of gold, because the gold's worth $100,000 an ounce, and I can buy this guy's house that's worth $200,000 for 2 ounces of gold. That's what you're going to value gold in, and that's why we're doing it. It's protection. It's not a stock. It's not like it's going to go. We're not buying it to go from 1,800 to 2,000 and sell it, and we made $200 an ounce. That's not why we buy it. You buy it because you're your wheelbarrow full of money is going to come, and you're going to just go, I don't have any money. I got gold and silver, and I got Tom Brady cards, and I got Michael Jordan cards, and you know what? I got assets. Real assets will hold the value because they're always worth something. And there's always rich guys who are going to buy it. So what's happening is your rich guys, your DuPonts, your Carnegies, your all those rich guys, Soros, they'll have the money and they'll buy stuff, and then the central banks will hold the gold. They'll hold everybody hostage except for us because we won't be dependent on the currency. But so what's Putin going to do with 100, I don't know what 50,000 tons of gold? What's Putin going to do with it? Right? So he's going to have he's going to rule. He wants to be dictator. That's why they're trying to get Ukraine, is he wants the old Soviet Union back. So he wants to control everything. So that's what he's trying to do, but he's got all the gold he can afford. See, having the gold, he can afford the war because he can use the gold to buy gas, to buy bullets, to buy tanks, to have his soldiers fed and all the supply lines. So that's one reason he's getting a lot of gold, and the other's for protection. If you look at his ruble, it's 75 to 1. I was there 10 years ago. It was 24 to 1. So here's what's happening in reality, which nobody's going to tell you but me. He's just printing, and he's taking the money, buy gold, buy me gold, keep printing, buy me gold, keep printing, buy me. He's printing it into oblivion, and what's he doing is he's taking the money and buying gold. But because he's the government, he runs the printing press. So he's printing, give me print. It's like Money Heist, print, and he takes the money. So imagine the professor taking the money and buying gold. Only the professor went up me because he got the gold the second time. So he's got $1 billion in gold. So we'll go to the professor and find him and ask for a few bars to survive. But that's what you do with it. But that's why you have the gold. It's purely protection in this fucked up world where we don't know what's going on. I mean, nobody tells us the truth. We're going to raise interest rates. No, we're not. Well, they're not going to raise them. They can't. The housing market in China's collapsed, and they need money. They're going to sell stock. They're going to sell houses. So if you own a house, look for the value to drop. That's what's going to happen. So your assets like that are going to drop. Your stocks are going to drop because they're way overvalued, because the market, anything that's not in the market is going to drop. So the the stocks have been the Fed buying and putting their money into the stock market, driving the valuations way up. So what's happening is, well, Tesla's not going to hold and Google's not going to hold. They're all going to, and then that's going to bring all the, okay, good. So I'm waiting on that. It's like Back to the Future. It was 50-23. Now went to 50-33. So I instantaneously jumped ahead in the space-time continuum. So that's what's happening is I lost my train of thought going to Back to the Future. Anybody help me? So that's what's happening is anything that's not market driven. So the Fed's keeping the stocks up by buying them, but eventually they won't be able to because they're making the money worth less and less. And so all the stocks are tumbling. Oh, I know. And so my Newmont Mining and my Wheaton Precious Metals, the stocks that are gold and silver that I want to buy, I got to wait on because they get up and then gold goes down because the Chinese, Russians want to buy, which lowers the stocks because they're following, for some reason, the COMEX instead of understanding it's fake. So the stocks drop. And so I'm just waiting, and then everybody will need the money. So the stocks are dropping. They'll need the margin calls. The housing's dropping. So they're going to need money to get out of it. And that's where everything hits the fan, and they sell their assets, which are stocks. And the house, they'll forfeit like they did in 2008. And then we'll be sitting there with our gold and silver and our baseball cards and staying out of trouble. So we're in the only asset that's not market driven, which is the gold and silver. So that'll go up because of the currency. The rest will not. The rest will come down because it's artificially inflated. They call it bubbles. So the house has gone way up, way too much, as is the stock market. So those two you don't want to get in now. It's like buying high. You want to buy low and sell high. Well, those are high. So you want to get out before they come tumbling down. And then that leaves silver and gold that we're in, especially silver, is going to jump. And so it's like a teeter-totter. As these drop, that goes up. And those are the only things that are not done by the market because they're fixed. So once the fixing gets off, when the Russians and Chinese need the money because they both want to go to war, apparently, China over Taiwan and Russia over the Ukraine, it costs money. Okay, let's let the gold go up. Let's stop depressing the price, and you'll see it jump to $5,000. But what's going to happen is, as the people get out of their houses and, well, mostly get out of their stocks, so they'll sell them just to get out, we better go to gold because they'll realize we can't go to dollars because the dollars are false also. They're not real. It's just toilet paper. And eventually that's what happens. So you can't do anything with the dollars. So when you sell your stock, you don't want dollars. You want gold and silver or Tom Brady cards, or as Nick buys his helmet or that. But that's so what we're doing now, and what Nick's doing is preparing. He's saying, it's coming. So let me start buying that. And I'm saying, well, buy Cougarants because they're cheaper. You can buy more ounces of gold, but it's still an ounce of gold. That's not going to hurt you if it costs you $50 less. And when you go to sell it and it's 10,000, you get 9,950 instead of 10,000. So when you look at it from that perspective, that's what's happening. But that's what you got to keep your eye on, is what's real and what isn't. And that's why you come here, and that's why I tell you exactly what's going on, is to protect my family, my Teaser King family and friends and everybody else. That's the point of it. Just like I've been, if you notice, I've been giving picks like every bowl game. I gave you the picks, and I'd say we hit 92% or so the bowl games. I lost a few of the early crappy ones, but everything else I nailed. You guys should have been making a fortune because I'm giving you the game and it's winning like I've never seen. It's very, very rare that I hit. I'm at a 92, 93% clip on the bowls and the playoffs. I've had a few rough stretches. I mean, I lost Buffalo, New England. I lost the Arizona Ram game. And let's see, not a whole lot. Last week I hit everything. So I lost Arizona and I lost the Buffalo, New England. I think that's it. And the Green Bay over with Frisco, I lost. So if we look at Arizona and the Rams, 31-11, but Kyler Murray threw a couple interceptions. You're not going to get that from Burrow. Anyway, glad to be part of the Teaser King family. Glad I found the community. Well, that's what I'm trying to grow it. Please tell your friends and family just to check out the video, because not only you're learning how to pick football, but it's much more. It's also you're learning real life. You're learning about staying out of trouble with money, be careful with stocks. Oh, buy gold and silver. These are lifelong lessons that I wish I at 13, 15 years old and gold was $30 an ounce, that somebody in my family was smart enough to buy gold, and they weren't. I mean, it was incredible how stupid everybody was that they should have been buying gold. But that's, so I'm buying enough. I'll make sure I give it to my friends and family. Here's a few ounces. When I go meet my girlfriend, I give her a half ounce, a quarter ounce, and she is it real? Like, yeah. And I go, yeah, it says 1 ounce of gold, a half ounce. So she's all excited, but it's my way of making sure she's taken care of, because I don't know what can happen. She's in Europe. Can she get here? Can I go there? I don't know if I can go to Russia and the Ukraine with this war going on. I don't know if they can land the plane. All I see is, all the Americans are supposed to get out of Russia, supposed to get out of the Ukraine. All the Russians are busing back to Moscow from the embassy in Kiev. So I'm like, fuck, if that's happening, I don't know if I can get back there. So at least she's got some goal to protect her. Just to see that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I'm trying to help us on reactions. So you watch, inflation happens, gold goes up. You're at the poker table. I don't know how many play hold'em. You make a bet. You see what happens. You see who the bluffer is and who's the steady player and who, if he doesn't have a hand, he's going to fold if I bet 20. He made it 80, but he doesn't have anything. He's the bluffer. When you play the bluffer, when the bluffer checks is when you run, because then he has a hand. He's trying to keep you in, so you know that. And you're just seeing who calls you. Oh, this guy's going to call me. So if I have a good hand, I can bet he's going to call me. So you're looking for action, reaction. Women, you can see if they like you, if they smile at you or they don't. And you just try to see what, well, that's with all people, right? Can I trust him? Is he friendly? Does he really help me? Is he really trusting? Is he not? That's what you got to decide. That's why you try to avoid scams. A girl smiles at you. Does she mean it? Okay, let's not give her any money. And does she still smile? Then she means it. And so you just do some of that stuff. But it's always action, reaction. So I've tried to teach you that. The baseball cards, I think we know, get limited cards, get superstar players, Mantle, Brady, Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, Kareem, all those Wilts. You buy a Wilt card, you're making a ton. If you can find them, because they're older. But if you can get a PSA 9 Wilt Chamberlain, that'll go way high, depending if it's his earlier cards or his rookie card. But anyway, so it's the same thing. I'm teaching you the thought process, so you understand. How would Teaser King do it? I'm playing roulette. Wait a minute, red hit 5 times in a row. Teaser King says play the red until it dies, or back rack, or poker. Betting sports or even betting stocks is all the same way. Betting stocks, you watch it drop. And if you like this, first you like the stock. And if you like it, like the gold stock, once it drops, then I'm going to buy it because it's dropped, but I know the value is higher. So you're looking at that. You're looking at value. So you're trying to do that, and you're trying to be smart. And how do I win? And so it's like the biggest thing I teach you is I made a bet. Why did I lose it? Why did I win it? I took Cincinnati over Kansas City. Why did I win it? Because Joe Burrow. Oh, okay. Why did the Niners beat the Rams? Well, or cover against the Rams. Well, they could run the ball, even though with Garoppolo, they have a good defense, and Stafford, is okay, but he's not going to blow them up. So again, you bet the Niner defense over the Ram offense, and it won. So every time you do something, if it's a stock, if it's a girl, if it's coins, if it's baseball card, why did I do it? And then you see what happens to it. And that's really, you got to ask yourself, why? Why did I do it? Why was I successful? Even at anything, at work, at anything. You cooked a steak. Why did it taste good? Why didn't it taste good? If you can do that and get the answers, it'll teach you how to learn. And that's really the key to everything. So right now it's football. Basketball, it's just I don't have the interest in it, except for the playoffs. And the playoffs is a psychological. The team that loses usually wins the next game in the playoffs because they can't afford to lose 2 in a row. I think I saw a beautiful game. Baylor had lost 2 games in a row. They lost to Alabama. So I saw that game. They lost to Alabama, and I think they lost the next game. They're home against West Virginia, who sucks. and I said they're going to kill them. And I don't know the final, but I think Baylor won by 30 points, which I knew they were going to do because they had lost 2 in a row, and they were a very good team, and they were playing a shit team at home, and I knew they're just going to kill them. They're just going to pound them because they're embarrassed they lost 2 in a row. So that's what you're looking for. I remember I went to Vegas. Wayne Gretzky was on, I want to say Edmonton, maybe LA. I think I was married at the time. And the worst team in the league was like Winnipeg or something. I'm trying to think of it. And they had went to the East Coast. Maybe he's on Edmonton. Maybe he's on LA. I think he might have been on Edmonton. I think that's when they were really good. And they lost 5 in a row on the East Coast, the New York Rangers, the Islanders, Pittsburgh. And they come home, and I go, man, I hope they get Vancouver, I think was the worst team. And I said, man, if they get Vancouver, I'm going to bet a fortune on it. And I fly to Vegas. It's a Monday. Guess who's playing Tuesday? Edmonton's playing Vancouver. And I bet $2,000 on the game without, it was like such a no-brainer that I knew they were going to place. And they won like 5-0. Easily in hockey, it's an easy cover because you're just doing it. So, I mean, it's sometimes you get that sense like, man, if I can get that real good team off of a few losses against the shit team, they're going to kill them. That's the moral of that story. I try telling friends about your videos. They don't know how to bet football. I'm the only one making money. Do they bet football and they just don't know how, or they do not bet at all, or they think they know what they're doing? But tell them to watch for the gold, the silver, the Tom Brady cards, and everything else. That's why I'm trying to spice it up with things that are real, that are happening, that people need to understand and protect themselves, because right now they don't have a clue, and everybody's going to get crushed. And I'll tell you, you got to be careful, because as Nick was saying about his grandfather having to steal milk and bread, you're going to have people starving because the money won't be worth anything. The credit cards won't buy you anything. They're going to come for your gold or silver or your food. So you're going to have to be careful. They bet football, but they think they know what they're doing. Oh, okay. So bet them. Take Cincinnati. Tell them you want the 4.5. Make a bet with them and see what they do. But see, that's the problem. You just nailed the problem with a lot of the people. They don't buy gold or silver because they know what's going on. They don't understand what inflation is. They buy stocks because they know what's going on. They listen to the Federal Reserve or the news. And this is the problem with most people. They think they know what's going on, but they're not getting the truth. And they're not talking to a guy like me who understands everything I tell you. I fully understand. I've learned it. I went to school for it, or football. I went to my own school of Teaserking and been betting since 70. I bet the 69 Super Bowl with KC, Minnesota. I don't know. I don't remember betting the Jets Baltimore, but I don't know what I would have done. Now I would have bet the game under. There's so many of Michigan, Ohio State games. I bet the dog in one, but when I look at their defenses, they're all lock unders from like 72 to like 77. You could have bet your house on the under in the game. 14-11, 10-10 tie, 12-10. I mean, they were beautiful. 22-0. They were beautiful unders with the defense and the running. But that's what you learn. So that's how I've learned, but I've asked the right questions. Why did I win? Why did I lose? What's going on? And you go from there. So that's what you try. So I'm trying to teach you how to think properly and know what you're looking at. Starting my betting journey the past couple of years, hoping to be like you in the future. Well, thank you, Nick. Just follow my lead and listen to me. Take my concepts and theories, and if you don't understand them, just ask if you're missing something. I notice when you give me games, they're my game. They're what I'm picking also. So I know you're catching on. I like Cincinnati, or I like the Bears, and I like the Bears. Or before I even give the picks out, pretty much a little of what I'm going to pick. I might warn you about injuries or something you're missing, but again, there's so many variables to look at. But again, it all comes down to, does the team need to win? They've lost a few games. I know we've done that with New England, where they've lost a couple of games when Brady was out, and they're 2 or 3 games behind, I think, Miami, and they played Miami at New England in a must-win, laying 7. It was a lock down to 1. They win by 30. I mean, that's what you're looking for. That's the best reason to bet it, when they have to win and they've lost a few games, they're pissed off, and they get an easy. You don't want to fuck with them against a real good team. You want to fuck with them against a weak team, and that's the NFL now. There really isn't a great team. Cincinnati and LA are not the 2 best teams, but they're there. They're good teams. That's why I like the dog, because I can't sit there and say the Rams are the better team. I mean, so you can take the score out and say, you know what, the Rams are going to beat Cincinnati, absolutely, for sure. Really? You can tell that? I mean, how? Cincinnati just went to KC and beat them. So you can't say that. Therefore, it's a dog play, because you can't say the Rams are going to beat Cincinnati. The only reason they're favored is they're at home, but I don't know how much it's home field, because Cincinnati gets, there's other tickets that are out there that are not necessarily Ram fans going to be in those. It's not going to be all Rams. It'll be quite a bit Cincinnati. They get people. It's like the Packers. When the Packers travel, there's so many people with Packers or Steelers jerseys. I went to a San Diego-Seattle game about 5 years ago when they were good. And when we got there like an hour early, and I thought I was at a Seattle home game, there was all these blue Seattle jerseys in the crowd. So, I mean, you're going to get a lot of Cincinnati. So it's not technically a home game for them. So just be aware of that. It is in LA, but it's not like last week's game was a home game against the Niners. And look what happened there. They had to go win on a field goal in overtime or something. Or very late. What was it, 2017? Very, very late to win it. So keep that in mind. So there's no way the Rams are going to blow them out. Like I said, I can see Cincinnati really getting to Stafford like they got to Lamar Jackson and just putting up a 40 on them and just really killing them. I can see that happen. I got a feel that could happen. So we'll see. Anyway, so protection. I'm protecting you. Why? Why is the dollar going to lose its value? Because they're printing it. They're printing more. That's the action. The reaction is it's going to lose its value. Because it loses its value is the action. The reaction is I got to go buy gold and silver, because I can't buy euros, francs, or pounds, because they're not going to have any value either, because they're printing their paper. They're not backed by gold or silver, so they're going to go to zero also. The question is, who goes to zero first, the euro and the pound or the U.S. dollar? The U.S. is the main currency, so probably that. But what's going to happen is they're going to try to get rid of their currency and buy U.S. dollars, so they'll probably go out first. Again, it's the reaction. You print the money's worthless. Where do I go with my money? I got to go to gold and silver, or I got to go with Tom Brady cards. But I'd rather go to gold and silver, because it's much easier to go into a coin store with an ounce of gold and get $5,000 for it than taking him a Tom Brady card, PSA 10. Now, you can go on eBay, but how are you going to get paid? Are you going to get paid in U.S. dollars? No. So let's say the Brady card's worth $30,000 U.S. dollars. U.S. dollars aren't worth anything. Now you the Brady card's going to be worth whatever the new currency is. Or you might take, for that $30,000, you might take an ounce of gold for it and say, if you give me an ounce of gold, you can have the Brady card. And that's maybe how we'll get paid for a while, because the next currency is going to be digital bullshit, which is going to track everybody, which nobody wants. So you got to be careful. But again, action, reaction. They're printing. we're getting out and buying gold and silver. They're going to fuck up Bitcoin, but Bitcoin's not an asset. I made my money. I'll take my profit. Now, I didn't buy an ounce of Bitcoin, but if you made Bitcoin, you're at 100 grand, 70 grand with Bitcoin, sell it. Buy gold with it. You can't lose. Gold is Georgia's defense. It's a lock. You cannot lose with gold. And that's what you want to do. But Bitcoin you can lose because it isn't anything. It's not a tangible asset. So that's what you want to. Raiders fans travel as well. Oh yeah, I of course they do. When I go to Raider Giants games in Jersey, they're almost more Raider fan. Well, that's because the Giants stink. But when Lawrence Taylor was there, I'm sure the Giants also traveled well. Yeah, the Raiders. Well, they got the passion. The Steelers, the Raiders, the Packers, of course, the 49ers. I'm sure there was a lot of 49er fans in LA last week, but I guarantee the Ram fans don't travel. I mean, they had the Kurt Warner days, but they haven't really, if this game was in Tampa, you'd have more Cincinnati fans there probably than Ram fans. Anyway, so that's what we got. So you want to, it's always reaction stuff. And so something happens causes something else to happen. So that's how you need to think. This war in Russia and the Ukraine, that's happening. What's it causing? It's causing oil to go up, oil is not inflation. Inflation is printing the money, making the money worth less, period. That's what inflation is. Oil is not inflation. So I don't know. People think, oil is inflation. It's not inflationary. Oil raises cost if it costs more. So you get on a plane, they're going to charge you more to fly you because it costs them more because of the oil. But the price increase is not inflation. It's a price increase. That's all it is. So everybody confuses inflation as a price increase. It's not. A price increase is a price increase. Inflation is making the money worthless. That's period. That's all it is. So oil not inflationary. It will raise prices because the airlines need to make their money, but that's all it is. So you have that. So Russia goes, what normally will happen, gold will go up because there's fears of inflation. There's fears of war, which makes gold go up. Then you have what's going to happen to the Ukraine. Will gold go up because Putin wants it more expensive so he can pay for the military? Again, the military is not cheap and it doesn't make money unless they rob the gold in the Ukraine, which is all probably hidden away now. So if you bring in the military, that's what Hitler did. He brought the military in to take the gold, and he stole everybody's gold. That was his idea of war. Well, let's go invade Paris, take all the paintings and steal the gold, and we'll get the gold in Poland and Czechoslovakia. I mean, that's really what he did. He went there basically to steal the gold. That was World War II, him stealing the gold and then covering it up and killing everybody. Unbelievable. But that's what you have. So it's always that. So what else is going to happen? Russia invades. There will be more. The ruble will go to $85 because they're going to have to print to pay for the war. Anytime you have a war, it costs you a lot of money, and it's inflation because you got to print to pay, right? You got to pay the soldiers. You got to feed them bullets, tanks, and everything else. So always there's an action and a reaction. And always you're trying to figure out what the action and reaction is. Basically, that's it. So that's what you're looking for. Poker, action, reaction, blackjack, roulette, baccarat. So you're gambling. You're buying stocks. The president gets sick. Stock's going to go down. They come out with a new product, the stock goes up. So there's whatever the action is on the stock, you're going to get the reaction. The Chinese housing market comes and crumbles. Well, they're going to need cash. U.S. investors were in China. They've got hit. They're going to need money. What do? They sell their stocks. They don't selling the gold is always the last thing. It's selling the stock, selling the house, but you have the gold. That's you keep that for the end, because we all know it's going to go up, and we all know that's what we need to survive. So anyway, that happens. When it happens, think about the reaction. That's what, to be successful and survive in anything, think about the action and the reaction. So it's all the reaction of what has happened. So when you smile at a girl, what's your reaction? When you do anything, what's the reaction? Now, sometimes you get mixed actions. The girl might not smile at you, but then one day she will smile at you. Now you've got mixed reaction. Oh, wait a minute. She didn't smile at me. Now she smiled at me. She didn't smile. And you just read anybody. And I went up to the girl. I says, you should go play poker, because nobody can read you. Because I don't know which way is up with you. But that's what happens. So anyway, you learn it with people, you learn it with friends and everything else. All right, I'm going to get going. It's Friday night, and we will, I'll have a Sunday morning show. We'll talk Super Bowl and anything else that comes up. Be careful with inflation. It's extremely high. It's double what they tell you. And just the only protection is assets. You need gold and silver, and you need to get out of money, and you need at least some baseball cards if you like them. I always say, and Nick, I'm going to say this to you, is to make sure you buy what you like. So if you like the Joe Burrow, buy Joe Burrow, buy Michael Jordan. I don't like Michael Jordan. I just got sets that he's in, but I really like Magic Johnson and Larry Bird and Kareem. I bought those cards. I bought a lot of Montana and Rice because I like them, and I didn't buy a lot of Elway. So buy what you like, and if you happen to open a set and you got LeBron James, I don't like LeBron James. Those are the cards I'm going to get PSA 10 and make 50 grand on and sell them, because I don't care, but I know they're valuable, so I'm holding them. That's why I bought them in the first place. I guess it's LeBron James. I got to buy them. I didn't like them, but I got some couple of really nice rookie cards that probably be 10s, and they're going to be worth 30, 40 grand. So I'm like, okay, that's what I like. Survival of the fittest is capitalism. Yeah. Only few families have 99.99 wealth. Rest are homeless. Only a few families. Old gold cards are too expensive, but Justin Herbert, Joe Burrow, and Lavasky Chenault for next decades. Yeah, I mean, buy them cheap and don't buy them graded. Let's see if Burrow wins the Super Bowl. Herbert, you got to be careful, because if he doesn't win a Super Bowl, he's going to be Dan Marino, and his cards are not worth what always are. I would focus on Mahomes. If Burrow wins this Super Bowl, Burrow, Mahomes, those are your studs coming up. Maybe even a Chase card. There's like a Jerry Rice. These Alabama receivers don't do anything except for Julio Jones, but he's a big stud. These fast guys, they all get hurt, and they're useless. So, yeah, if you can get a Chase or a Jefferson, but buy them ungraded. But go to a card show. Make sure they're mint. Make sure the corners are sharp, the centering sharp, the pitch is sharp. It'll be a 10. Buy them for $20, and then they're worth 10 grand as a 10. Rich people does not need human. They have smart machines to take care of everything. What you think? I don't know who Jay Morant is, so I can't help you there. I don't really follow basketball. I know there's Curry, and I know there's what's the other guy? It's been a while. Who's the other guy in Golden State? His dad played for the Sixers, I think, or the Lakers. Harden stinks. The other guy, I don't know. So I'm just not into basketball now. He's number one, Giannis. What you think about Jay Morant? Giannis, Draymond. Yeah, Draymond Green, he's okay. Michigan State. And then the other guy, there was the other guy I was thinking about who got injured, been out for 2 years with his knee injury on Golden State. But again, I'd rather have Magic Johnson, Bird, Kareem, Dr. J, Jordan. I'd rather have those guys than these guys because these guys aren't really, it's a different game. Well, the old gold cards are good if you buy them not graded, but you can see them. So I got a 1965 Willie Mays not graded for like 30, 40 bucks back in the day, but I could see it's a mint condition card. It's sharp. It's fairly nicely centered in good corners. 1965 tops. So if you go and you find, now I don't know if they're all graded now, if they're in good condition or not, but mine are not graded and they're in great condition. They're mint cards. Rich people do not need human. They have, well, everybody needs human, believe me. And rich or poor, it's are they smart or stupid? Are they nice or rude is really what it is. Bill Russell, Chamberlain's a good, yeah, I would say Chamberlain is good. Russell, Havlicek, Jerry West, Oscar Robertson. Those guys, absolutely. Jerry West, I would think, would be good. But yeah, I mean, so get them ungraded and look at them and go, yeah, these would probably be 9s and 10s. You can get them dirt cheap because Beckett still prices them in as if they're, near mint mints, PSA 8s. But if you can see it's a mint condition card and the dealer's going to sell it to you as an 8, go get a graded 10 and then you make a ton. 1966 Dunros Marvels, Captain and Spider-Man rookie cards. Absolutely. I got the 1990 Marvel cards. I probably got $200,000 of Marvel cards that I thought were worth $10. All of a sudden I go into PSA 10 Marvel 1990, and there's 4 Spider-Mans, there's 4 Wolverines, all the big movies. There's Stan Lee cards going for $2,000. There's a bunch of Wolverines, a Doc Ock, the Green Goblin, the Spider-Mans, the Iron. Then you go into Iron Man, and you go into what's the other one? You go into the Spider-Man guys, and then you go into the X-Men guys. There's Storm. There's the Wolverine. There's the guy with the flashy eyes. All these Sabretooth. They're all like there, and all the movies are so popular. I'm going through about a set of 200, and I'm framing about 90% of these cards were worth $300, $400, $500 PSA 10s, and mine were perfect condition. There was a couple that were off, out of line, off center. Tired. There's a few really off center that wouldn't have made it, and a few corners that were nibbed. So I'd say maybe 10 cards out of like 500 were nibbed. Everything else is a PSA 10, and every fucking card in there is $300, $400, $500. It's unbelievable. So I mean, yeah, absolutely buy the these 9. I've never heard of the 66 Dunro Marvels. If you can get them, yeah, Captain America, absolutely. I would definitely. I don't even know if you can get them PSA 10. If you can, they're got to be a fortune. But if you can get them ungraded at a show, and I don't know if you can ever find them at a show, you might have to get PSA 9s that are affordable. Those will go through the roof because the 1990 ones are through the roof. It's the same Spider-Man, Captain America, X-Men, and all that. I know you like BGS, but don't buy BGS. PSA is the graded ones, right? If you get a PSA 10, the card's worth $30,000. If you get a BGS 10, it's worth $2,000. For some reason, PSA graded 10s are worth a ton more than BGS or any ASA. To buy a BGS 10 Jordan that's only worth $5,000 when the PSA 10 is worth $40,000. And just to rip it open, you take pliers to the corners and you crack it open and you take the card out. And it's, if it was a 10, it's still a 10. You haven't touched the card. Put it in a hard plastic, send it to PSA for grading. You made 30 grand for doing nothing. So I would highly recommend that. 1940 Superman, first rookie cards. Absolutely. You probably, the best you can get is maybe a PSA 7 or an 8 on it. Hard to say. 1985 Transformer cards. I don't know. Check the price. Like Superman, you're going to do fine. Marvels, you're going to do fine, especially with the movies. The Chamberlain, the Jordan, the Mickey Mantle, stick with them. But I don't know Transformers. I think women and non-sports rookie GOAT cards are untapped. Which women are you talking about? I don't know. What, Nancy Lopez, golfer? Maybe some Billie Jean King, maybe. I could see that. 1992 Sports Illustrated for Kids, Mia Hamm, 85 tops. Hulk Hogan. I think there's earlier Hulk Hogans. Jenny Finch. I love Jenny Finch. I learned how to pitch because of Jenny Finch. Yeah, I definitely get Jenny Finch. She's beautiful. Elvis Presley, 59. Yeah, you can't go wrong. Sabrina Williams. I don't like her, but if you do, maybe that would be a good one. Yeah, the Jenny Finch. If she's got a rookie card, she was incredible. Yeah, I would get her. I think she's well known enough to do that. Elvis Hamilton. Who's Elvis Hamilton? Shaun White. Yeah, okay. I'm not a big Shaun White fan because I'm not into the sport. 1992 Michael Jordan Art Product Fanimation Italian International version. Yeah, those tend to be good. Those Italian, or I have some French, like a Pavel Bure rookie card that's Upper Deck French, and a Dominic Hasek French rookie card. Those seem to be considered limited, but I'm sure they're not. John Tomic is the greatest cyclist of all time. GOAT, Nino. Yeah, but how popular is the sport? You're getting a little European. I don't know. It could be a Michael Jordan card, or it could be, I've never heard of them. I myself wouldn't be interested in it unless I went on eBay or one of these and did a search and see what his cards are going for. And if you can, it's always about condition. If you can get a PSA 10, get it, but I don't know the value. There has to be supply and demand. Lewis Hamilton, Refractor Froyle rookie. Who is Lewis Hamilton? I don't know. I've never heard of him. I assume he's a baseball player, but I don't know. All are very well. If they're popular, then absolutely go for it. There's an economic rule of supply and creates demand. So what you always want is something that's demanded if you're going to buy it. So if Lewis Hamilton, so go on eBay and see what Lewis Hamilton's going for. But who is he? Sophia Loren card, Richie McGraw and DuPont, Don Carter, Jonah Lomu, Marilyn Monroe. I would say Marilyn Monroe and Sophia Loren. They actually have cards. Are these like tops or what? I would say Marilyn Monroe is like, I have a Statue of Liberty painting of Peter Max because it's Statue of Liberty. So I think Marilyn Monroe would always be worth it. Don Carter is a little more regional, great bowler, but I don't know, how about Dick Weber? Is he, what are their cards worth? 1957 Toss Bill Russell. Yeah, of course. 1977 Star Wars Luke Walker, Wonder Bread 5051. Marilyn Monroe, Elizabeth Taylor card. Yeah, I mean, the best NASCAR racer, so that must be Lewis Hamilton. I don't know. He's not Al Unser, Mario Andretti. 1990 Tony Hawk rookie card, Winter Olympics. J.A. Pettigrew trading card, four figures skater, Sonia Henning. She was in Caddyshack, Sonia Henning. Yogi Berra, yes. I'm going to lead you into, you have to do this research in eBay. I know what you're saying. Yes, would I get a Dick Weber bowling card? I don't know. I mean, is there value in it? You could have a good card that The question is the demand. So you have to check eBay, type it in, see what the demand is. Now, also, it's always about conditioning. So if you can get a Babe Ruth card that's a PSA 10, you're never working another day in your life. You're retired. So it's all about that. It's all about condition. They all have values. Now, can you get them PSA 10, or do you got to get them these older ones? Marilyn Monroe, what's her grade? Can you find a PSA 10, or are they all PSA 4s or 5s? It's a good thought process because they are stars and there's high demand. That's the key to it. That's why I say get Montana, get Rice, get Lawrence Taylor, get guys that are superstars that everybody knows. 2021 Bowman Chrome, Luis Rodriguez, first 2021 Bowman Chrome. I'm going to say no on baseball cards. Pokemon Neo Genesis first edition. I got my daughter Pokemon, and we got there was a big refractor we got, a Mew or something. And I had her frame them back 20 years ago or 10 years ago when they came out in the 90s. She was big into Pokemon. We got her all the figures, and then we started buying cards. And the big ones we put into a frame, into a hard plastic, even back then. So, yeah, I think those Pokemon, especially the refractors, I think we have a Mew refractor. It's got to be worth 10 grand now. It was perfect condition. I got cards. No way. PSA 10, maybe 4, 5, or 2. Well, what's the value of a Marilyn Monroe PSA 5? If it has value, and then can you get these, or are you going to buy them so are you going to buy a PSA 5? My daughter have a big collection of Pokemon cards. Make sure they're framed, the big ones. And what years? Are these in the 90s like my daughter's, or are these newer? High value. 1920 Sonia Henny, Donald Bradman, who I don't know, cricket. Michael Phelps, I know. Donald Bradman, I don't know. Stadium World Stars. That 28, 29 wouldn't hear. Well, if they all have high value, now the question is, can you get them, or do you have them? If you have them, that's one thing. If you're wanting to buy them, then again, try to buy them low, see what the value is. Well, always like the Babe Ruth cards, or Lou Gehrig, or Joe DiMaggio, is I think a 1948 card. It's all condition, right? You can get a strong 8 or 9. It's going to be worth a fortune. Can you find it? Well, probably, but see, back then people wouldn't have got them and had a hard plastic to throw them in like I did with all my marble cards, and I do with all my Jordans and all my Magics. They went right into hard plastic, so I don't know these older cards, the condition. But look at that. What's that? What is the Trust Speaker? The 1902 or 1906 card that keeps going for millions of dollars, even though it's a PSA 2, because they only made 10 of them, or, it's very, very rare. So if you can find them, you might not be able to buy these low, depending on how many there are. World Cup Soccer Cup is happening this year's team. These USA soccer players are very, very hot for a short time. You want Marilyn Monroe because she's going to be hot forever. These soccer players, if they don't win the gold medal, they're hot now, but are they going to stay hot? I'd rather buy a Pele card. He's always going to be hot. Or some of these other stars. 2016-17 Christian Palucci. I guess he's soccer. So I guess these are soccer players, but not now. Yeah, Pele. Yeah. See, you can't go wrong buying a Pele card or buying a Monroe card or buying a Joe DiMaggio card or Mickey Mantle, of course. See, Mickey Mantle, you can probably get a PSA 9. I've seen them like 1965, 1961 for a couple grand. I would edge you there. A red, what's it called? It's a Mickey Mantle 1952, like red dot. I think I have it in my phone. What is it called? Where is it? Oh, here it is. 1954 Red Heart Mickey Mantle. This is what I'm talking about. Okay, so this is a 54. These are, this is a PSA. Here's a PSA 8 for $8,000. So these are very rare Mantle cards. If you can find a 9, maybe. Let's go into the sold ones. So if you want market condition, you go into eBay, into the filter, and you hit sold and completed. Because this is the market, right? So now they're sold and completed. And then you go and look at the results. This is going to tell you the market. So here's a PSA. So for example, here's a PSA 2.5, and it sold for $2,000. A 2.5, it's garbage. The card's terrible. Let's see if there's a high grade. Here's a 7 that got about $5,000. But again, it's a Mantle. It's a 54. I don't see. I mean, they're getting. Well, here's 1,300, and the card's not even graded. This one here. Here. So this one's 1,300 and not graded. The guy sold it. So I mean, something like this, nobody knows about that, but that's where I would go, try to get them graded, and then see what their rock card, anything. Put it this way: wrestling, yeah, the rock, rookie rock would probably be worth it. The giant, definitely, yeah. See, what you're doing, it's called Say's law: supply creates demand. There's huge demand for this. You're talking about superstars that people know and demand and want and love, and they want to have a piece of it. And those will always sell. And that's what I say. Those are the cards you want to own, is the cards that people will always want to buy. You don't want an offensive tackle on St. Louis, even if it's Orlando Pace. Ain't nobody going to want, even Kurt Warner, maybe you get some. Gale Sayers, yeah. Joe Namath, yeah. Joe Montana, yeah. That's why you buy those cards, because everybody wants that. Or Jerry Rice. That's why it's hard to get Justin Herbert. Why is everybody going to want him? Well, he won. Why does everybody want Tom Brady? He won 7 Super Bowls. Okay, why are you going to want Justin Herbert if he doesn't win a Super Bowl? You're not. He's just another guy. For them, look at the Dan Marino cards. His rookie card's not too outrageous, and he's not. He's just he's a good player. Didn't win a Super Bowl. Joe Montana, on the other hand, won 4 Super Bowls. Terry Bradshaw won 4 Super Bowls. You know what I like that I can suggest to you is going and getting 1970 Steeler cards, but not necessarily a rookie. Get a Franco Harris second year, a Bradshaw in gem mint condition in the 70s. You can do that. I've got 1982. I got two perfect Montana cards, two perfect Walter Payton cards, and some Bradshaw and Franco Harris. Now I bought them for $2 because they're not graded at a card show many years ago, but they're gem. These are perfect corners and centering. And now I'm starting to see it. PSA 10, Joe Montana, 82, $1,500. And I'm going, ding, ding, you picked that one right too. So you don't always need the rookie card, but the rookie card will be the most. Like I got a Jordan. I didn't get the Jordan rookie card. It was too expensive. It was probably $200, $300 at the time. But back then I'm paying 10 and 20. This is in the early 90s. But I was smart enough to get the Jordan second year in really, really mint condition. And it's going for 35,000. So the rookie card goes for $1 million, but the second year card's 35 going up. So that's what I got for $15 because it wasn't his rookie, but it's damn centered. It's a damn nice card. Oh my God, you must have bought them years ago. Yeah, I did, but that's what you want to do now. So that's why I'm saying. But the difference was if I went to a trade show when they were this was the late 80s, early 90s. So at the trade show, you had a bunch of dealers and everything you had was Beckett, right? You didn't have eBay. I don't think you had computers back then. So what you had is a Beckett that came out and said, Jerry Rice rookie card, $60. And I'd go to, and my wife would look and yeah, it's in gem mint condition. I'd go, well, you take 30 for it. And he'd go, yeah, I need the money. And then I got rapport with certain dealers and there you go. And that's what happened. So but I knew to get the Rice. I got Bobby Orr cards, 1969, the hockey stick. Perfect, beautiful condition. I think I paid $100 a quarter. It was my most expensive card. And it's beautiful. And it'll probably grade 9 because I don't know if I can get a 10. I could get a 10, but there's probably something wrong with it. It's 1969, but that card will be worth a ton. Any Orr card, 9 or 10, will be worth it. Hockey cards seem to get a good value. I'm a new collector. I started 2 years ago. Well, you nailed it. Buy the stars, but you can't, like World Cup soccer. We're in America. We don't care about soccer. We care about football. I would lead you to the 65 Topps baseball. Mays, Aaron, Pete Rose, Mickey Mantle, Roger Maris, Bob Gibson, on and on and on and on. But good luck finding them centered in mint condition. Or you can buy them PSA 9s, which will cost you. So the question is, what do you want to pay? And then do you want to buy sports cards or gold and silver? The gold and silver will be worth it. These cards will take a little bit, but you've got to buy exactly who you're saying to buy. Since I am new, I am buying Bowman Draft First Edition rookie cards. Oh, don't do that. This year's rookie cards? What is that, baseball? Please don't do that. First of all, baseball cards, there's so many flops. You're better off in football getting a Joe Burrow or Mahomes, but buying Bowman rookie cards for, I assume, baseball, no, don't, because they won't hold. None of them. It's so hard to be Willie Mays in baseball. You're better off spending your money. I don't know what you paid for the first edition rookie cards. Take your money and buy silver and gold, or go buy a Willie Mays card, or go buy Montana or Jerry Rice or Elway. Well, it depends who you like. Get these 70s Steeler cards. I have many Joe Burrow rookies, low number cards. I bought him early. Well, there you go. That's smart. Now we hope he wins the Super Bowl and then a couple. He's got to win 2 or 3 Super Bowls. This guy's a superstar. So as long as he's healthy, that's why I'm hoping they win here, and then all would be good. But that's where you go. You think about who you will it hold its value? Will you, yeah, Mickey Mantle, Willie Mays, always, Kareem, Wilt, Jordan, Magic Johnson. That's what you'd rather buy than, and you can buy Magic Johnson cards relatively cheap. Or stick to your football. I have a few Kareem. I was lucky. Kareem, is that Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, or I don't know who Kareem is. I don't know current basketball. Like I said, I don't think they're any good. Maybe Steph Curry and the guy I can't think of on Golden State who got hurt. Yeah, Kareem. Yeah, absolutely. Those are good. And again, it's the conditioning. If they are nice and centered and nice corners and a good pitcher, put them in a hard plastic frame. Do you know what I'm talking about? Plastic frames that you put the cards in. That's what you need to protect them in. All my good cards are in plastics. When I found all these Marvels, the X-Men, the whole Marvel, Spider-Man and Wolverine and Captain America, no, get a hard plastics. I'll show you what a hard plastic is. Okay, so here I just happened to go into Mr. Fantastic, probably worth $300-400. You can see it's beautifully centered. The corners are perfect. The picture's perfect. This should get a 10, but you can see this hard plastic, right? It's a snap tight. So you put the card in and then you snap it, and now it's protected. The air can't get to it. If the air gets to it, it's going to ruin the cards. This is in gem mint condition, and it should be a PSA 10, and it should get about $300. They're called, you can get them, I think Pro Mode. It's Pro Mold. If you type in Pro Mold, they're hard plastics. You can get a whole box of like 80 of them for like $30 or $40. They went up a lot at the shows. They used to be cheap, but they're Pro Mode, and then they're plastic card holders. They'll look like this. You'll see the picture, and your real good cards you want to put in here. Because this way, I mean, this is 1990, and it's gem mint. It's like I got it yesterday. So this keeps the value of it. Beautiful card, perfectly centered. See, this is the thing. The whole everything I had was in a 4-column box, but the whole set looks like this. So I'm going through the cards, and they're all perfectly centered, perfectly cornered. One or two maybe had a little ink mark or something that accidentally happened. Out of maybe, I got a whole 4-column. 4 columns. So how many of these are in a 4-column box? Are in one row, like 200. So I got about 800 to 1,000 of cards that are Marvel that are framed that I stumbled on one day on eBay. I don't know what I was searching, and I'm stumbling on it, and boom, PSA 10 Marvel. I think I was on this 1990 PSA 10, and all of a sudden their 1990 cards came up. And all of a sudden, here comes X-Men and Wolverine, and they're all going for thousands of dollars. I'm freaking out. You have less cards, but they are all gems. Well, I have a lot of cards. I got boxes of. I have at least 8 boxes full, 4 of these 4-column, and then I got a safe full of my Brady. I got an Iserman 1-on-1, the Gretzky, the Orr, the Mario Lemieux, the old football, the Joe Namath, Gale Sears, the 65, Willie Mays, Hank Aaron. I got a whole safe full, and my gold's in there. So whatever happens, I make sure I hold on to the safe, and it's fireproof. And that's where I put all the good stuff. But yeah, it's quite this is Teaser King at his finest. It's 1990. This was a joke. I mean, this was like the kids like X-Men. So we bought 2 boxes of it. And we put it in a 4-column box, and that was it. We forgot about it. And then all of a sudden, I see PSA 10 going crazy, and I got probably 2 boxes of this that I had bought that was sitting in a column box that holds like what 500 cards. It was full of X-Men, all gent condition and all. I had everybody. I don't think I had the Green Lantern or the Green Goblin or something, or Electro, one of the villains. Those are dream cards for collectors. Yeah, I mean, I got a Walter Payton rookie that is dead. It's got to be a 10. I mean, this thing is beautiful. But what I did was I said to myself, what's the value? And I said, well, it's got to be condition. The better the condition, the less there are. So it became an economics lesson, supply and demand. The less of one thing, the more it's worth. This is why inflation is so easy for me, because the more there is, the less they're worth. So a Topps Barry Sanders rookie card that they made $1 billion of is not worth as much as the Score Barry Sanders card that they made very few of. Or that's why these older Mickey Mantle cards are worth so much if you can get a 9 or a 10, because there's very few of them. But everybody loves Mickey Mantle, and that goes to your example, Marilyn Monroe or Pele or that. Everybody loves those. Some of them are a little bit off. I don't know the value of some of those guys you told me, but a Babe Ruth is always going to have. You get a Babe Ruth. If you can find a Babe Ruth PSA 9, 19, 20 something, you're retired. Your kids will never work. You'll never work again if you can find that. And you hear the stories. Some guy had it in his attic and he died, and the kids go through it and they found all these old baseball cards, and they're in nice shape, and they're all millionaires now because of the guy's card collection. So these are my ace in the holes. So I got gold, silver, and these. And my wife thought she got the best of the divorce because she got the house and I got the baseball cards. And I didn't think the baseball cards were worth anything. Now I get the baseball cards, and now I'm going, okay, I did okay. She, in the meantime, sold the house. So you need to go. Huge Atlanta Cultural Collision and Sports Card Show. It's a huge show. All collectors and dealers are going there. When is it? Oh, thank you. It's happening this month, 15th to the 17th of February. So that's like next week. Barry Sanders are very cheap. The Topps are, not the Score. If you get a PSA 10 Score Barry Sanders, it's about $1,700. Yeah, the pro set with him on his Oklahoma State jersey, they're all like $200. It's in Atlanta. Yeah. Atlanta Cultural Collision and Sport. It's about a 3-hour drive from where I am, the 15th and the 17th. So what's today? It is the 11th. Oh, so that's next week. Okay. We'll have to see. Maybe. I'm in the position of buying gold and silver, so I won't do a lot of buying. Actually, it might be good to do a little bit of selling. Yeah, I can do that. It wouldn't be bad to bring, but the problem is, like, my Jerry Rice card is not graded. It's in good condition. It's probably a 10, which is $100,000, but it's not graded. So I don't want to sell it for $5,000 ungraded when I can get $100,000 graded. So I could bring it, but I'd have to see what I could get for it. And I don't know. Maybe the dealers would see it's a 10. It's a beautiful card. And then maybe they would figure it's a 10, but they wouldn't give me 100 for it. At the most, maybe 25 for it. Maybe, I don't know. So then I'd have to see if I could get that kind of value for them. But I'd love to sell some and get the gold with it. I bought many rare physical Bitcoin silver numbered coins And cards, they are from 10 to 15. I didn't know Bitcoin had coins and cards. Do they have a value? If you went on eBay and searched, is there a value for a physical Bitcoin, silver, numbered coins? What are they numbered out of 21 million? See, I always thought, what is that? Oh, yeah. What? Numbered out of 0. Oh, big value. Oh, okay, good. What do you get them graded, or they're just worth something? See, now those I would sell, but give me an example. So you have what? One, how many do you have? And then what would one sell for? And then how do you sell it, on eBay or go to the show? 100, 500, 1,000. Is that how many you have or what they sell for? You can grade them too. Okay. Are yours in gem mint condition? Are they PSA 10? Cassius? Cassius what? Cassius clay? Oh, eBay. Oh, so you can sell them on eBay. I would assume they're worth more graded, so they're kind of a collectible and interesting. So you'd have to see number 250, 105. Oh, okay. Well, what are they worth? So let's say you have one. What are they worth? Okay, they're hard to find. That's good. So let's say you got a 50 count one. Do you have a 50 count one? What would you get for it? You're talking 10 grand for it? It could be worth more than the Bitcoin, these things. Well, if they made 50 of them, sure, or 100. Well, what would you get for one? You'd get a lot? Like, was a lot 10 grand, 20 grand? More than the actual value of the Bitcoin at 37 grand? That would be hysterical that you'd have these silver coin cards or coins or whatever, and they're worth more than the actual Bitcoin. I love it. That could be. I mean, so I would, depending on how many do you have? 10, 20, 50 of these? They also come with Bitcoin too sometimes. So how many do you have? Do you have like a lot or just a couple? Major ones? I have many from different companies, and they're all worth a lot, is what you're saying. So what I would do is take a few of them and then sell them on eBay or whatever. And you're saying a lot of money, so I'm assuming 5 grand maybe. And then I'd buy gold with them. I would say I have good ones. Okay, so they're good. I assume that means they're good condition and they're valuable, and you can get good money for them. So I would probably take some of the money, take some of them and sell them, and then go buy gold with them, or some of your other cards that you're talking about. Use the money for that, but I would probably buy some gold or silver with it. So that would be, so you got a lot of them. Let's say you got 50 of them, and so you can sell 5 of them and get some of the first coin published cost close to $100,000. So they're selling for 100. Okay, so the question is, are they going to go up or down in value? Like, do you think they'll hit 200,000, or do you think, well, that's it? What if Bitcoin goes out or has tax problems or the government doesn't like it? Will the value of the card or coin go down? What's the reaction, right? So is there a reaction that could cause the coin to drop? So if there is, then I would sell it if you have one of these. So depending on what you have and what you can get, if they have Bitcoin, it will cost more based on Bitcoin value. Okay, so if we think Bitcoin value is going to go down, which I do, because there's not an asset and it's in US dollars. See, gold will get out of US dollars. So the gold is going to go up to 30,000, but then eventually the gold won't be tied to the US dollar anymore. It'll be tied to a new currency. And the same will happen with Bitcoin. It won't be tied to the US dollar anymore, but nobody really knows the value of Bitcoin because it changes so much. They do not go down and only go up. Will go up, down if those coins and cards have Bitcoin embedded into them. I'm not quite sure I can read this. They do not go down and only go up. Only will go up, down if these cards, coins have Bitcoin embedded. I'm not quite getting that. These I will never sell. They are going to my daughter. Okay, how many do you have? You have a lot. So I'd rather you give some of that gold to your daughter. The gold will be worth a fortune. She'll be taken care of. The Bitcoin, I'm not sure of. Basically, Bitcoin up and down price will change the value. And you have quite a few. So that's what I'm saying. If the value of the Bitcoin drops, the value of these go down, I would sell some of them, take my profit, say thank you, and go buy her some gold and let her live off of that. Because gold's gold, right? Gold's going to take care of her forever. The Bitcoin, I don't know. Are they going to be around? Is something new going to come out? You hear there's blockchains, there's new chains, there's all these new ones. And that could make Bitcoin go down to nothing and be replaced by a new Bitcoin type of thing. So you got to be careful with that. The physical Bitcoin coins and cards have their stable value. Oh, okay. Well, that's better then. So if you know they're worth a lot of money, they are blockchain coins and cards also. Okay. Again, if they're limited and there's, again, is it demand tied with Bitcoin now? But if Bitcoin goes down, then you're going to get hurt. Then I would say sell them and get your gold. They are super, super rare. Okay. Normally, like again, if it was a Mickey Mantle card, it would be a no-brainer. You know it because Bitcoin's kind of new. I don't know what to tell you about Bitcoin. Is it new? Is it going to be around? Is it going to be replaced? You're not replacing Mickey Mantle. You're not replacing Marilyn Monroe or Pele or Wayne Gretzky or Bobby Orr. None of those are being replaced. That's the difference. You'll always want Babe Ruth and Joe DiMaggio and Mickey Mantle and all the Yankees. You'll always have the demand for them. The question is, I don't know that I would buy this Bitcoin stuff because I don't know enough about it, and I don't know if Bitcoin's going to hang in there. It's kind of a fad. It's kind of a let's get out of the U.S. currency, but it's not really a currency because I can't go to the store and buy a steak with it. That's the problem with Bitcoin. If I could go to now, yes, I can't. I don't physically go to the grocery store with a gold and buy it, but I can sell gold for whatever is going to be used as currency to buy my steak. I don't know about Bitcoin. Can I sell the Bitcoins to buy whatever currency to eat my steak and get gas for the car? This I don't know. And that's the problem I have with Bitcoin. It's the value, it goes all over. Not that 1,800 for gold is good, bad, or ugly. And gold should be much higher, but gold's not going to 500. Gold's not going to 1,000. But I don't know what Bitcoin is, so it's a different animal for me. I hope it doesn't drop in value for you. But if it's anything tied to the value of Bitcoin, I might sell. Anything that isn't, I would probably maybe hold on to those. But, you sell some of your inventory and you hold the rest of your inventory. And that's the beauty of it. It's like buying a stock, right? So you own a lot of stocks. Well, eventually you sell and take your profit. based on something that happened, and then off you go. So it really depends on that. So, do you want all your money in GM stock? Well, probably not, especially if they go to an electric car and they can't compete. So there's always something new that comes out. So if they replace Bitcoin, are you going to be okay? They're not going to replace Mickey Mantle. They're not going to replace gold or silver. That's why I say it. It's a safe bet. And when you're dealing with your daughter, you don't want to be giving her something that might not hold value. You want to be giving her gold. You want to be giving her silver, Mantle cards, and Clemente and Willie Mays and all those, Joe Namath. That's what you want to be giving your daughter, because those are not going anywhere. So anyway, that's kind of what you want to do. So yeah, I get they're super rare, but I just don't know enough about Bitcoin. Again, it's really a computer program, so it's hard to say that it has a value, and hard to believe the value is 37,000, or I see it go up $4,000 and down $4,000, and I can't tell you what drives it. Well, protectors. What I'm trying to do here is protect you. So to protect you, I'd rather see you sell some of that and get into gold, get into silver, get into, if you want, X-Men or Mickey Mantle or whatever that you like, to get into it. You gave me a lot of Marilyn Monroe's and stuff. I'd rather see you get into that is going to have a value. You don't have to take a risk, but Bitcoin, what is it? And is it going to hold the value is the problem. Bitcoin went up to $75,000 from 1 cent in 11 years. That's insane. And then now it's down to 37,000 or 38,000. So what made it go up? Was it real or was it a scam? Was it a pyramid scheme? And then what drives it down? And then will it stay? Something like that just seems too good to be true. It's probably not true. So that's how I view it. It's probably not going to keep. That's the problem with it. So, it's like any stock. Joker, pump. I don't know what that means, but scam. Oh, yeah. I mean, what is it? I guess if you could tell me what it is and why it's valued, I would say yes. But to me, I have a card. I know this card. Okay, it's only worth $300 right now, but I have it. I own it. It's mine. It's in the frame. I have this asset. And my argument with Bitcoin is, what is it? I don't have anything. So I don't know what it is, and therefore, how do I trust that it has a value? I got a Mickey Mantle mug here that's probably worth $50, but I have it. I have something. It's Mickey Mantle. I'm not expecting it to have a value. I could turn around and it could be worth $500 just because it's Mickey Mantle, but I didn't buy it for that. I probably spent $10 for it just to have, because it's Mickey Mantle. But if you get a Mickey Mantle card that I showed you, it's worth $5-10 and you get it graded and it's a PSA 9, you're retired. I made good money in marijuana stocks in 20. What are you, a time traveler? 2916. Then I lost it all because I hold them too long. Yeah, that's the point. The action reaction that I try to teach. That's why did you make money on it, and then why did it go down? That's what you have to learn and understand. So when you're up in Bitcoin, what I'm trying to tell you is get out, take your profit. You can't lose, and then look for the next thing, because you can't just assume it's going to keep going up. Yeah, I know you're 2016, but I was hoping you're a time traveler, and then you could tell me like who's going to, what stock to buy or how much is gold going or something like that. Yeah, I mean, that's the point. Even when I play poker or when I bet football, I take my profit. I don't just sit there and it's going to keep going, because it's not. Black will hit, and it might hit 20 times in a row, but eventually red hits. You've got to understand that. You've got to take profit. You can't just like, I don't know what you made on the Bitcoin, but you got to say thank you and give me my profit and off you go. You can't just leave it in Bitcoin like it's going to go to 1 million. It's not. But people will say that because they want you to buy it, just like gold. Nobody says buy gold but me. And I give you the reason. I give you the why. I give you the action and the reaction. Nobody else gives you that. Nobody else understands it's price fixed, which is amazing. Or a couple people do, but most people don't. They go, oh, look at the trend. It's about to bust out. No, it ain't busting out till the Russians say we need money. So that's the problem. But the Russians will say it. Eventually they'll need money, and eventually the gold will go through the roof. Or when they run out, which they're probably, the way they're buying it, they'll probably run out of gold soon. So that's what I'm saying. It's always the prudent play to take your profit. So if I'm at a poker table and I flop a set, I have a pair of sevens and you got aces, excuse me, and I flop the set and I win $500, you know what? I'm probably within 5 hands getting up and leaving because I made my profit. I've got my winnings. I'm going before I give it back, because you will give it back. And that's what I'm telling you. You don't have to learn the hard way. You can learn the easy way. Just listen. That's what you do. You take your profit, no matter what you're doing. Stocks, gold. Well, gold will take our profit later on. Stocks, baseball cards. Well, Mano, you probably hold. It's more of an asset. But stocks, Bitcoin, any type of investment like that. I do that in stocks all the time. I buy 1,000 shares of my gold stock. It goes up 70 cents. I make $700 and I cash in. And then I do it the next day or the next couple of days, whenever it dips. And I do that over and over and over and over. And my risk is very low. And that's the point. You take your money. You take your profit. You are correct. I never gave up. Tick with it and learn. Now I know better. What you are saying completely makes sense. Go to that Atlanta show. You will like it a lot. I'm sure I will. I used to go to the Detroit shows and I loved it. And you'd see all these cards. So yeah, I'm going to try. It's not a COVID issue, right? Do I have to wear a stupid mask and I can get in? Very good advice. Thank you. Well, that's why I'm here, and you're welcome. Welcome to the professor's class. But this is why I'm here. I'm not getting paid to do this, but I get paid by teaching and by somebody like you saying thank you, and by making you money or saving you money. So right now, whatever you're up big on this Bitcoin, sell at least half of it, get your money out of it, take the money, and then look for the next investment. And you just gave me 1,000 cards, and I'm giving you gold and silver. And I'm giving you the Cincinnati Bengals, and then you can buy Joe Burrow cards. So, I mean, I'm giving you the football pick too, but that's all what you want to do. You take your money. It went up. Nothing keeps going up. It's impossible. So your Bitcoin went up. Now it's going to go down. Now get out before. You don't want to get out at zero. Oh, shit, I could have made all this money. Get out now while it's high, or at least get out a half. Get out your profit. Make money with it. That's what you want to do. You don't want to just keep holding it. That's all I can tell you. Just keep doing it. And then you want to look for cards like this that are not graded, but they're perfect. And you pay $10 for them. And I'll tell you a card to get. There's a Black Panther card in this. This is not Black Panther. But if you see it centered and cornered like this at a show. So if I go to Atlanta and I see some guy has this and he has Black Panther and I can inspect it and I go, it's fucking perfect. I'll buy it and it goes for about $1,800. And I'll do that all day. I'll buy all those cards cheap. And then because you've got to understand the price guide is not graded. And there's a huge, the Jerry Rice card's maybe a $200, $300 card. PSA 9, it's 10, 15,000. PSA 10, it's 125 grand. But you're not going to see that in the Beckett. You're going to see an $80, $100 card that the dealer doesn't know. He's sitting there going 60. That's what you want. But you got to know You got a center and corner. So the keys, it's centered, top to bottom, side by side. The corners are extremely sharp, and the picture's fine, and the back's fine. There's no reason this shouldn't be a 10. I paid 10 cents for it because I bought the box. I do not have any Bitcoin. I sold them all, but I have those all rare physical coins and cards that I have Bitcoin in them. I'm keeping them forever, almost like I never owned them. Yeah, well, okay. Well, like I said, maybe sell a couple of them. Unless you think they'll never go down in value, but yeah, Mano will never go. The Jordan rookie is not going to go down, but yeah, over 10 years, even low graded cards you mentioned will be also very well. I got cards in low grade for cheap price. Yeah, but I don't want the low grades because there's less demand and there's more of them. So then it becomes a supply demand issue. There's a lot of Mickey Mantle, probably rookie cards that are PSA 1 that maybe go for 2,000 or 3,000. They're not going to go for 30 or 40. You're going to spend 30 or 40 on a better grade on a PSA 7 or 8. So maybe the lower grades you're saying, if it's an older card, would be a 6 or a 7 or an 8 that you can afford. But at the end of the day, the 9s and 10s and 8s are going to get the value. But I know what you're saying. The 10s are going to be so expensive. Well, I want the card, but I can't afford the 10s. I'm going to go to the 9 or the 8. And yeah, I understand that, but I really wouldn't buy too much junk because junk's junk. You don't want to own it. So my advice would be to get at least PSA 8s or go to this Atlanta show and at least see this type of card and go, okay, I'm going to buy it, not grade it, but it's fucking dead center. It's cornered. That's what I want to buy at the Atlanta show of the players we talked about. And you won't pay a lot and then just get them graded and you're worth a fortune. To get Mickey Mantle over 7 are super expensive, not the 65s. The 1965, I thought I saw a 7 or an 8, and it was only $2 or $3 grand. Now, I don't know what you're calling super expensive, but that's not for Mickey Mantle. A 65 tops. Go to the 65 tops and do a PSA. You can either do a 7 or an 8, or do a Mickey Mantle 65 tops PSA, and you'll see. They're not that expensive. The 9, yes. The 10, well, I don't even think I've never seen a 10, but the 9, of course. But if you can get a 7 or an 8, it's not going to kill you. I don't think it's more than $5 grand, which for a Mickey Mantle 7 or an 8, it's 65 tops is a beautiful card. That's what I would get. So no, it's 65s. You can probably get a 7, an 8. I think even the 60. I think I even saw a 61 tops, like 7 or 8, and it was not as expensive as I thought it was going to be. And again, go into eBay, go on the sold ones, then you can see what's the prices have been going for. But in eBay, I noticed there's three ways to sell. You can run an auction, you can run a buy it now, or you can say best price. Do the best price. So if I have this card PSA 10, I'm going to go on and say $350 or best price, not buy it now, and certainly not an auction. The auctions might not get the view, and the auctions might not get the view, and therefore you might only get $100 for this card. But if you do a buy it now, the guy might not want it. But if you do a best price and you put $350, where the guy can come back at you, he can come back and say, well, how about $290? You can say, fine, I'll take it for $290. You don't have to deal with the auction of getting the people. And this way the guy sees what he wants and he goes. So that I've seen is the best way. I have the Tom Brady rookie, I believe it's Bowman Chrome, and it's a refractor. It's worth a fucking fortune. The Bowman Chrome rookie's worth 30 grand. Mine's the refractor. And I want to get it graded, and if it comes back 10, which it better, it's perfect, I would put it out for 150,000 best offer, and I would let somebody come back at me at 110 or 120. That's how I would sell that Brady card. If the Montana rookie comes back 10, I don't know. I think it's a 9. It's a little bit of a centering issue. I would then do the same thing. I would put it out for 150 and say best offer. And I think I would do that on all your expensive stuff. Put it best offer, put it, see what it's sold for, and then jump at about 20 grand for something like that, or the Peyton rookie or the Rice, the Jordan second year. I might start at 50, the LeBron James, the Brady's. I would set them up pretty high because people want them. And then they'll figure they're getting a bargain, right? So you put it at, 50 grand, and then you're willing to take 25. The guy offers you 30 because he thinks he's getting a bargain, and you go, sure. And that's the best way, I think, to sell on eBay. I think you get the most bang for your bucks. The card you were showing, I forgot the episode. Can you tell what is the card you are showing? It is Mr. Fantastic. It is. It doesn't really. It's 1990, but it doesn't really. It doesn't say what comic it is. Some of these are comic book ones, but this is just that it will sell quick. Yes. Well, like I said, I got the whole thing, but I wouldn't sell the set. See, you're better off selling the cards individually than the set. If you sell the set, you don't get the value you will, because everybody wants the card in it. So I'd rather sell this and the X-Men and the Spider-Man. There's 4 Spider-Mans in there. There's a black Venom. There's a black Spider-Man suit. The Black Panther. There's a couple of Captain America meets Spider-Man, or Wolverine and Spider-Man on a comic. That's one of the cards, and they're all, it's outrageous. They're all $400 or $500, but I wouldn't sell the set unless they were all PSA. If I got them all PSA 10s and I did the value, and I'd sell the set for 100 grand. If I got them all PSA 10, if I had the whole set PSA 10, I'd put it out for at least 100 grand or 150 grand. Otherwise, I wouldn't sell. I would just sell the individual and do the best buy and go from there. That's kind of what you want to do. But again, it's you want to get what people want. The key to business and the key to life is you want to meet the people's what they want. If people want a blue shirt, you sell blue shirts. You don't sell green ones. So getting what they want Pele, they want, Anna Kournikova, they want Pavel Bure, they want, Joe Namath. That's what you sell. That's what you buy at the show, because they'll sell. But you got to buy what you like. It doesn't do you any good to buy what you don't like. 1959 Three Stooges Curly #1. I have good collection of Albert Einstein rare cards. Well, that's say law. Demand, supply creates demand. Maradona, Zico. I guess that's soccer. I know Maradona. Absolutely, but that's the key. Is people got to want to buy it. The more people that want this card, and the less PSA 10s, the higher the value. That's the Mickey Mantle effect. So you got a Mickey Mantle rookie, or that red heart I showed you, is a PSA 10. The demand for Mickey Mantle, and then the fact there's only a few PSA 10s, drives the card up more and more and more. So the demand is what creates the high value when there's short supply. So I'm telling you to buy a 25 count Joe Burrow, or a 10 count Joe Burrow, or a 50 count Joe Burrow, because there's the supply so limited, the demand's going to drive the price way up. But we need some action to get the price up, which is him winning the Super Bowl. That's why I'm saying, but don't buy like Lamar Jackson. Never buy him. He'll never win a Super Bowl. So you never want to buy Lamar Jackson. He won't have a value, because there's no catalyst that says he did this, therefore he's going to have a value. They'll have the same value as Colin Kaepernick, which is nothing. Well said, a nice analogy. I love Joe Burrow. Thank you. You can see I'm tying everything in. I'm tying in action, reaction, with inflation and economics to sports cards and to football and to gambling and investing. It's all the same. It's all based on how limited this versus the demand. And that's Say's law says that supply creates demand. So if you supply, we say we want blue shirts, and then the demand, it's kind of turned around, but the demand is, oh, I'm going to go make blue shirts. I'm the business. I'm going to make blue shirts because that's what's demanded. I'm going to make hamburgers because people want to eat it. I'm going to sell pizzas because people will buy them. And it's very simple. So don't get into a store that nobody wants to buy. People, I tell you not to buy these rookie baseball cards, is most of them aren't going to do shit. So therefore, you're going to hold cards that have no value because nobody's going to want them. And unless they hit 700 home runs or bat, 400 or do a Ted Williams. But I already got those. I already got Mantle and Ted Williams and Joe DiMaggio, and Willie Mays and Mickey Mantle and Hank Aaron. I already got those. They've already done it. I don't need the new guy. I got the old guy. That's what I want. That's what I've got. I am buying Tim Duncan's because no one paying attention. He won 5 NBA champs and so many. It's graded cards are now somewhat cheap. Well, okay, but think about why. There are so many prospects every year in baseball. Screw that. Look what we're doing with Joe Burrow. We're saying after he wins the Super Bowl, I'm going to buy Mahomes now because he's won the Super Bowl. He's won the 4 straight AFC championships. Unfortunate, he's got Andy Reid as his coach, who's probably the worst big game coach I've ever seen. He lost 4 straight with Philly, and then he lost, and he's won 1 and lost. Now he's lost 3 with Kansas City. So he's one. He went to the. So if we look at his championship games, he's 3-5. The Super Bowl, he's 1-2. So if we look at the Super Bowl as a championship, he's 1-7 in those games. So when they say Andy Reid's a good coach, I go, wait, what are you drinking? You got to be kidding me. So what you do is you wait for them to so by Mahomes, he's won the title. Aaron Rodgers, his cards can't be worth too much. He's the best quarterback in the league, but he can't win. I don't know. The Niners held him. They blocked a punt. How the hell they block a punt? Why is Aaron Rodgers? Here's the difference between Joe Burrow and Aaron Rodgers right away. Why did Aaron Rodgers have to punt the ball from the goal line? Why didn't he had 3 plays? Why didn't he get a first down? Why didn't he call good plays? That's the point. Joe Burrow marched right down the field, kicked the field goal against Tennessee, marched down the field, kicked the field goal against Kansas City. He'll do the same against the Rams. If they're down, he'll come back. That's my point. Aaron Rodgers can't do that or doesn't do that, or he chokes every time he's in the championship game. He won 1, and he's been there the last 4 or 5 years, and they can't win because they get to this game and then they falls apart. I've never seen anything like it. He's a lot like Brett Favre, who won 1 title. He should have won 5. But those aren't the guys you go after. You go after Tom Brady cards because he's done it. It's all over. You go after Montana. He's done it 4 times. So that's why you go after Lawrence Taylor. He's the best there ever was. So that's what you do. You're trying to do that kind of stuff. You're really not trying to, let's see who the next rookie in baseball. You don't need to. Wait, like you just pointed out, Tim Duncan. He's won 5 titles. Now, I'm going to caution you but David Robinson was on the team for years. Ginobili. You've got to understand, why does Tim Duncan's cards not, or something like that? I would tell you to go after Kobe cards because he died and his cards are really zooming. What do you think of Charles Haley? I wouldn't buy Charles Haley cards. Defensive linemen don't have much of a value. Look at Reggie White. I mean, he doesn't have much of a value. Things like that. It's just the wrong player. You've got to look at the whole scope of cards. The whole world of investing. I can buy gold. I can buy silver. I can buy Mickey Mantle. Do I really want to buy Charles Haley? I can buy Joe Montana and Jerry Rice before I buy Charles Haley. So now if you're thinking, well, I can get him cheap, but where's his upside? Yeah, he was a great player, won a lot of Super Bowls. But if he doesn't have value now, he's not going to. You can see Jerry Rice, his rookie card is a PSA 10 is like 125,000. Charles Haley's PSA 10 card, what is it? I don't know what year it is, 89, 88. Maybe it's $500, maybe. So I don't see the upside value. Who wants Charles Haley? Don't think like that. You got to think quarterbacks or running back. Barry and Emmett and Montana and Rice. Rice is the exception for wide receivers. Most wide receivers don't have that value. So that's really what you want to get. You want to get those type of players. Bradshaw, yeah, he's. I saw his 82 card was going. The PSA 10 with like $500. You can probably get that at that Atlanta show for $5 because it's an 82 tops and Beckett. It doesn't have much value. It's probably a $5 to $10 card in Beckett. If you see it and it looks like this, and you go, okay, it's a $500 card, PSA 10. So what you do is you go to eBay and you just do PSA 10s, and then you see, and that's what you do. You're correct about buying quarterback and running back. Well, yeah, because they're Joe Namath. Name another player on the 68 Jets. You can name Joe Namath, and you can name Len Dawson, and you can name Bart Starr and Paul Hornung, but it's more Lombardi. But you can name the quarterback on all the winning teams, except for like the Baltimore Ravens with Trent Dilfer. You never want to buy him. But I mean, there's Montana. Now some of the Redskin quarterbacks I wouldn't waste my time with, but a Joe Montana you want. In NBA, I only focus on point guards. You're correct about he is a stud. Well, I would get Kareem and Wilt and all day. Now, yeah, I'd get Walt Frazier and Earl the Pearl and those guys, absolutely. But you still might get Dave the Busher, and you're still going to get Jerry West and Oscar, but you still could get Magic and Bird. You're not going to not get Bird because he's a forward. So you got to really look at the player. That's all. And then you got to like the player. Like Isaiah, he doesn't have value for some reason, Isaiah. I'm surprised. Isaiah Thomas was a great guard. Jerry West. Yeah. Well, I mean, Jerry and Oscar, but Wilt and Russell and Kareem, absolutely. I'd be buying those centers all day, especially Wilt. Wilt was such a good player. I mean, he just dominated. And if it was such an easy league, how come nobody else got 100 points or averaged a triple-double or 50 points a game? How come Russell didn't do that or the other players if it was such an easy league, which it wasn't? But, I mean, Kareem with all the points, the skyhook and all the championships. They went to UCLA. Bill Walton I'd kind of stay away from. He only won one title at Portland, one title on the Celtics. But that's what you're looking at is the player in the sport. Bobby Orr, Gretzky, Gordie Howe. Absolutely, that's who you want to target. I'd rather have Bobby Orr than Charles Haley, and that kind of puts it into perspective for you. Yeah, I mean, we can go on and on. Absolutely, anything Muhammad Ali, probably more so than Mike Tyson, but Mike Tyson might have a following. But I'd rather have Joe Frazier and Muhammad Ali than Mike Tyson. But yeah, I mean, you're on base with all your, I like this guy and that guy. Yeah, absolutely. If it's well known, you can gem mint. Well, if it says PSA 10, it's gem mint. But if it doesn't, then if it's, is this card really a PSA 10? That's what you're asking. Is this really a PSA? Well, yeah, I think it is. Look at the centering. You tell me where it's not. It's a nice centered, nice cornered, nice pitcher. So why wouldn't it get a 10? But it's not a 10 until it says 10. and it's not a PSA 10 unless PSA grades it. I don't want Beckett grading it because it's not going to get the same value. Let's say this is 300 as a PSA 10. It could be 75 from Beckett. But then what I'm saying is I might buy the Beckett one, crack it open, and then resubmit it to PSA. So you know you're getting a 10 for 75. You turn it to PSA, you turn 75 into 300. That might be a good thing, especially with the more expensive cards that are not PSA 10, like cards like maybe a Rice rookie, 125,000 PSA 10, and it's maybe 10,000 as ASA 10. Now, is it really a 10? Then buy the ASA, crack it open, and get PSA to do it. You make $100,000 because you know it's a 10. And I would try that with a much less expensive card, but I would definitely get an off-brand 10, crack it, send it to PSA. So let's say it's a $2,000 card, but it's only $400. Maybe not even that. Maybe a cheaper card, maybe a $50 ASA 10, and it's worth $2,000. I like the Barry Sanders score rookie. So it's like 1,800 PSA 10, but get it not PSA 10, crack it, send it to PSA. So maybe you pay 200 for it, crack it, send it to PSA. PSA says, yep, PSA 10. And you have it, you've made money because the other 10 is still strong. UFC, I do not follow. Well, it's perception that Beckett is a good grading, but because they do the price guides, I'm not saying that. But I'm saying is, if you want to make money on eBay, you get PSA 10s, not Beckett 10s, because the Beckett does not have the value of PSA. So for some reason, whoever's buying on eBay, is the perception is the PSA 10 is the top of the line. And any other grade is not going to measure. You're not going to get the same value. That's all I'm saying. So don't waste time with the Becketts unless you want to crack them to get the PSAs. Tony Hawk's rookie card. Skateboard. I don't know. I can't go there. I'm getting real tired. Yeah, well, I can see what PSA gets on eBay. But yeah, I mean, you're naming all the studs of all the different sports, but you got to realize what sports are real. Football, you're gonna, number one, and Gretzky and Bobby Orr and Lemieux and Mantle and Clemente and Mays and Aaron. So people are going to want those ahead of Tony Hawk. Not that Tony Hawk's not bad, and maybe the newer kids are all skateboarding, so they like Tony Hawk. Absolutely, I'm not questioning that, but my point is to possibly, Tony Hawk's on the bottom of my list. I've heard of him. I'm not into skateboarding, though. I'm into the other sports. But again, I'm older. I might be my generation. It's baseball, football, hockey, and basketball. And I grew up, and I'm watching Magic Johnson, and I'm watching Larry Bird, and I watched Kareem. I watched Kareem at UCLA when they won like 88 in a row. Your generation watched Tony Hawk and soccer cards and UCF, or all that stuff. Maybe that's the new generation, and then we have to research that. Is Tony Hawk worth more than Joe Montana? This is what we need to see. Maybe he is. Maybe that's where you're going with it. But at the end of the day, they better be somebody that everybody knows. Sorry, I am very tired, but that's what you got to do is do something that everybody knows, and not, don't just pick up. Well, I'll try skateboarding, I'll try soccer, I'll try this, unless like Jenny Finch softball. I know her. But I have two daughters, and they play softball, and I learned how to pitch so I could teach them. And Jenny Finch was in the Olympics at that time. She was a superstar. So, yes, I know who she is, but I don't know if anybody now would know who she is. So that's really what I'm saying. So if these are now really hot, but I don't know that girls softball is really hot. But if you like Jenny Finch, she was very pretty. She was a great pitcher. If you really like her because you like her, then go buy her card and then just have it as a collectible. So some of this is, I like the Spider-Man or the X-Men card, I'm keeping it. And some of it is, I don't like LeBron James, I'm going to get 50 grand for his rookie and sell it. And I'd rather have that and buy gold with it because I don't care about LeBron James. I have Michael Flench rookie cards. Who's Michael Flench? Oh, I got a few minutes left. I am exhausted. So I don't know who Michael, unless you're saying Michael Finch, but I don't know who he is right now. But anyway, I think you got the gist. I think the audience has the gist. Yeah, you got to buy who you like. Like if you're buying something, you got to like it. You got to like Joe Montana to buy Joe Montana. You got to like Lynn Swan or Joe Green or Joe Montana. You got to like the player to get them. Don't buy them and not like them because it's something that you want to buy to like. Now you can go, well, I'm going to buy LeBron James to sell. Well, that's a different animal. Then you try to get it at a show, not graded. Look at it, go, yep, this looks like a 10, and then get it graded and then sell it. That makes perfect sense. But that's how I got a lot of my cards, was from the card show where I paid half a Beckett, which was not even for a graded card. And now the grades are coming out, 9s and 10s, and they're watching. So that's what you really want to do. That's the key. Get the player. I have a few nice Roger Federer and tennis cards. Swimming. Michael. Not Flench. It's Michael Phelps. Yeah, I know Michael Phelps. Yeah, he's a great swimmer. Would you buy Mark Spitz cards? He was a better swimmer, but he was in the 60s. That's the key point. Yes, Phelps is a good player, but, do people want – it all becomes is there demand for Michael Phelps cards? That's the whole question. The GOAT of all GOATs is Mickey Mantle. He's the GOAT. He's the number one of number ones. You get a Mickey Mantle card, PSA 10, you're a rich man. Michael Jordan's close, but more people want Mantle because he's New York. And I'm Detroit, and I don't like Michael Jordan. Montana's up there, but he's not a Mantle. Joe Namath is good. He's not a Mantle. Alex Honnold, free solo legend. Free solo. What is he? I don't know what he is. Who is he? Is he like a magician, like that one guy? Like Chris Angel, Mind Freak? The biggest GOAT in collecting is Mickey Mantle, I would say. All right, I'm going to leave because I am exhausted. And it's almost a 3-hour show, so nobody will be able to watch the whole thing. Anyway, have a good night. Thank you. I'll be on Sunday morning for Super Bowl, and we can talk more. And very nice. Go to www.teaserking.com, and you can get my email, and you can email me some questions and comments, and we can go from there. But no, that's why I do it. I try to help educate, and then all the people who are going to watch this who weren't on can see what we talked about too. So that's my pleasure. That's why I do it. And I need to eat though. Oh, okay. I'm glad you subscribe. Well, I don't have a subscription. Just go to the website and you'll get my email, and then you can email me. Unless you're a customer, if you got the you got the Super Bowl. No, nobody, because they'll just run the video. That's the whole point. You can stop the video, but that's why it's too long, because people won't sit for 3 hours to watch my video. They'll, a half hour at a time. But as it got going, it's a quick video, even though it's long, and people will get into the subject matter, especially the collecting. And well, that's why I hit inflation and I hit collecting. So it's many sections, but it's hard to do one video. Like I wanted to do just the Super Bowl and then come back and do inflation and then come back and do collecting. But it's hard because then like you come on and you start talking collecting. Well, I don't want to leave and do a new video for it. So that's, maybe I'll start doing that. But basically, so one subject leads to another. Fortunately, I'm well versed in many subjects, so I can do that. All right. Well, I'm going to go. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the Super Bowl. I'll be back on Sunday morning. Again, www.teaserking.com. Again, Cincinnati and the over are the picks for the Super Bowl. All right, everybody. Thank you very much. Enjoy your weekend. Sports cards YouTube channels are very hot now. Okay, I will try a sports card YouTube. Let me know if you have any, the ones you can refer to. Sports cards YouTube channels. Okay, yeah, let me know. Send me an email. Okay, thanks. What is it? AF? Is that how you pronounce it? Anyway, thank you very much. It was nice talking to you. Okay.